is Sandstorm. Storm.
Yeah. Connect yourself with the word, so you're always online. Sonic can run fast, but my lord is always on time. I was doing the word, but only to check off the list. My lord didn't do me like that, so why would I do him like this? It's time to push his agenda, even if the odds are stacked. Because he makes a way out of no way, and he's got my back. You feel the pressure, huh? That ain't enough. We fall down, but now it's time to level up.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are here for another Stormcast. How is everyone doing out there? Got my co-hosts here. Noto, how you doing, man?
Good, just see Bean here.
Bean! OB!
He's here. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
And we got the main man himself, Vito. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
What up, Jay? Appreciate you coming through. First moderator in the building. Appreciate you coming through, Joyce. Yeah, two times in a row. We really appreciate that. RJ was the first one to step up into the chat. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a lovely little show that we have for you guys here today. Before we get started, you know how we do. We always start off with hey, what's up, Exodia? Appreciate you coming through. Who says cute light skinned baby?
Yep. I'm proud and joy.
Got a taste of the melanism.
Exactly.
Before we start off, you know how we always do. We start off a little prayer over the overall channel and the video. Keep us safe and protected. So, Father God, thank you for the opportunity to be in here today and have another discussion about the things that we love, video games, and the art. We just ask that you continue to protect us and this channel as we go forth. And we thank everything that you do for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Mustard!
I'm done. I've seen that Dragon Ball thing. I'm done.
Yeah, it's coming. For every power up there is in any anime, it's gonna be that now.
Exactly.
You gonna get
mine's a little different because every time he has a little vowel, it's like stinky. I'm like, I'm done. And he smiles about it. Oh, buddy.
You gonna get the bleach power up.
Yeah.
Bon Master.
Pretty much.
Hey, so what you gonna put on your hamburger today?
Right. Just stuff some ketchup, some mayonnaise, some pickles, some lettuce, some tomatoes.
And some
Mustard!
Looking like, what the heck's going on here?
Right. He's dialed in like, these boys is crazy.
Yep.
Them boys
Okay,
is
you want
crazy.
to turn? Yeah. You stay right here and look. You can look with mouth wide open, like, huh?
Right. What these boys is talking about? These boys is crazy.
Hey, looking that way. What's going on, buddy?
So, before we get started, you know how we always do. We start off with the icebreaker. We're gonna go nice and smooth again today. Pause. So we'll just start off with what have you guys been playing lately? Which I'm really eager because I guess it really does go into the topic at hand, right? So, what have you guys been playing lately? Noto, let's start off with you, man. What you been playing lately? And chat, that goes for y'all too. What have y'all been playing lately?
So right now I'm actually trying to finish up Princess Peach Showdown. So I'm actually just got to the 5th floor now. I'm actually gonna work on that for the video and maybe later on tonight after his bath and everything else and do some recordings. Then I may actually try to finish it up. That's about it. Then I may work on either do Sonic and Shadow Generations, or I may actually do a different one for the next video I want to set up for.
Okay, that's what's up. Let me see. Yeah, super pause.
Yeah.
He's RJ said, "Can you imagine an anime character shouting that out before every power?" I can imagine. What's the dude that we watched, Vito, who does like the
Goku? No,
No. I'm thinking down to that. In my head.
What's his name? Inevitably, is it Inevitably?
Oh, ID's gonna definitely do that, but
yeah. I can see him weave, master. You know? Counter. He was like, "Nah, that sauce look like ketchup, bro."
Is that ketchup, bro? And you don't got and that's ketchup?
Right. Yo, what's good, Jack?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm
There he
looking
is.
down at my phone, and I was like, man, he already sent the link.
There he is. Well, Jack.
What's going on with you, man? I see you got your baby boy with you.
Yep. And here just like right on my shirt and everything now.
You're like, "Daddy, if you don't put no
He's
mustard
scared.
in my
He's
bottle."
scared. He's scared right now because he's hearing the monster.
I see the
He don't
monster.
hear it. I got the earbuds in. He don't hear it.
If you don't put no
Oh
mustard
no,
in
he
my
hears. That's
bottle,
why he keep looking back. He
Right.
keep looking back. He's like, I hear you, Uncle Vito. I hear you screaming.
Yeah. Oh, you hear Uncle Vito? You hear Uncle Vito?
if you don't put no mustard in my bottle, mustard.
Honey mustard.
But that came out of nowhere when Vito sent that message. I'm like, for real? Like, and then the thing was, when I looked at the track list, I'm like, oh, so none of the songs he had for Drake is on this album.
Is on
at
there.
all.
No.
Nope.
It's completely different. He was
Mhm.
ready.
Oh, and from what they saying, this is a warm up album. This is not even an album. It's an album.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Yup.
It seems to be that way because you just label it G and X. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Right.
Then it's 12 songs long, but they definitely said that dot. He was like, oh no, it's not done. It's not done.
That's
See,
crazy.
I'm about to start drop. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this man dropped next month.
I believe it.
And then the
Probably
month,
another one, and the month after.
well, I wouldn't say he'll drop the month after that Super Bowl. Well, that would be close to Super Bowl. He wouldn't do that, but because he got to perform then. But I definitely next month. He might drop on the 6th, Jack.
you know that wouldn't surprise me.
If he drop on our date, I'm about to make a diss track. Yeah.
If he drop, can you imagine? I drop on the 6th, and then Kendra's like, "Oh, I got one on the 6th." I'm like, "Hey!"
I'm coming at him. I'm going at him.
Not like they were gonna pay attention to me anyway. I'm just saying.
Stop it.
Oh, they will now. Oh, you want to drop the same time we drop? All right.
Bet. Mustard.
I mean, my own must beat.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting for Obi to say something. We didn't say that. Let's say it.
So what I missed? I know I came in late.
Nothing. You literally came in on time. We were
Okay,
just
okay.
Noto just talked about the games that he was playing. I was just about to go through a couple of these that the chat was talking about. J Big said he's playing Samurai Showdown 8, which is Final Fantasy, obviously. Metal Gear Solid and Echoes of Wisdom. So he's still running through
Oh, wow.
Echoes. Brand Smith said he's been playing Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. That okay?
Yeah, they fixed that.
That's on the Switch. Yeah, I didn't even realize that it came out on the Switch. But
Yeah,
then
I
I
again,
knew it came out, but I wasn't. I don't know how I feel about that. It's like I haven't played it yet, but I mean, it's one of those things that like I wanted to try out, but I haven't got a chance to get around to. Like, I'm back. Oh, it's stupid.
Yeah,
I feel you on that.
It was one of those like type of games back in the day that was just fun.
Mhm.
But from what I'm hearing on all platforms, it doesn't run that well.
Really?
So I'm curious if Brand Smith can give some insight to that, because from what I heard, it wasn't running all that well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely about that.
because if not, I'll just go back and get the 360.
Yeah, Right.
PlayStation version.
Zodiac said he's been playing Xenoblade X, which is kind of crazy, bro. You just couldn't wait, huh? You just
I'm
couldn't.
about to say you're not gonna wait.
I've been trying to have patience to go back because I want to see how convoluted it's gonna be or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Got
we'll
past
see.
3 days ago. Okay. All right. Cool.
I just said just Marvel versus Capcom. I still need to grab that.
Yeah, me too.
I've been grabbed. I have already put my hours in already. I'm good.
Is the physical out yet? Or is it still just the digital?
No,
I know the physical comes out this month. I just don't know
the
when.
should be out already by now. I know the Xbox ones are getting it like somewhere around next year, but I know PlayStation and Nintendo got theirs like right around the same time. I think.
Okay.
No, the digitals came out when I think in December, October I think it was, and I think the physical came out in November.
Oh, okay. JB said Lollipop Chainsaw. Okay, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, Jack is here.
Hey.
Net and why for like got updated. Okay. Joyce said haven't had a chance to get into anything new. Splatoon is my go-to, and finishing Eternites this weekend. Okay, that's what's up.
Yep.
I haven't. I stayed away from Splat 3. I'll probably pick up Splat 4. On the next Switch.
I haven't even tried Splat yet. I need to.
Yeah, it's you played the first one though, right?
No, I haven't played any of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely get into that. That's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Yeah,
but 2 was like 3 for me, so that's why I stayed away. Didn't hear anything about it. I was going to play it earlier, but okay. Cussing, no. So Vito, what have you been playing, man?
Absolutely nothing.
No?
Nah.
Oh,
okay.
I know the reason why.
Oh, okay. Oh, is this part of the whole moving thing?
No. I just haven't picked up the controllers.
Okay. Fair enough. Jack, what you been playing lately, man?
So I, shameful. It was on sale, 2K25.
I couldn't help myself.
That basketball gene, man, is one of those things to where that's my sport, man. Like that's a sport, and I hate that only they do it. But one thing I don't go online. I don't do the my career stuff. I just kind of do my NBA, so that way, the core gameplay of it is fine. The only gripe I take with it is they're kind of forcing you into that rhythm shooting. So it's like your green window is super small when you use the button versus using the rhythm shooting. That's my only gripe, because the gameplay itself is fine, but when you go online and do like the story and everything, that's where the headache is. I mean, I got it for $30 off of Amazon, so it was like, all right, cool, whatever. But outside of that, continue to play Batman on VR. And then
how is that? Because I never really got to talk to you about it.
That game is amazing. Like,
wow.
Whenever I first got a chance to play Iron Man, I thought that was kind of cool. Because one, you're Iron Man, and then kind of got to put your hands down to kind of fly in place. So they did a decent job. But with this one, from the atmosphere, from the way that you fight, the way that you use your gadgets, everything just feels like Batman. Like that's the coolest part about this game. And then they didn't skimp on any missions. They didn't skip on you going from one area to another. Like, granted, you're kind of like on like one city in a way. Well, not one city, but like one area of the city in a way. Yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, you're doing both Batman and Bruce Wayne stuff.
Okay.
So that was like the dope part about it. So like even early on, when you're trying to get through a certain area in the game, you put the control up to your head, and that'll turn on your what is it, like the detective vision?
Yeah.
And it's just that simple stuff that you do in like the Arkham games that you do now with controllers, and you're behind it. It's cool. And like when my kids played it, they were trying to do the typical, like, let me just keep swinging when I'm fighting. It don't work like that. So if it tells you need an uppercut, you need an uppercut. And even there's times to where, like, when I feel like I'm going for a simple punch, he grabs his leg, and then I'm punch his knee into his leg. Like, it's so cool. But I mean, and then for somebody that like myself that sort of kind of gets motion sickness, sometimes this has been a smooth ride. for me. So I mean, it has been an amazing game, and that it was something that I wish I was with Jay on the nominee thing, but we don't see VR games for like Game of the Year.
Nah.
Nope.
This was something that should have been a nominee for Game of the Year.
Wow.
Proper spacing, proper timing. Looks great, runs great, even though it's only on Quest, because I know that's people's biggest gripe, but it's fantastic for a wireless device. Like this is an amazing game.
Yeah, what's interesting is I guarantee you that like whatever game that they want to have on there that fits a narrative, it'll get on there. It'll definitely get on Game of the Year. Oh, this is so innovative. This is next generation. Blah 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 blah. Sony does it again because we know who it's gonna come from.
Yeah, it's got to come from either Sony or I don't even think they'll accept it from the PC crowd. So yeah, it's got to come from the Sony camp.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm surprised that the 2 or 3 games that they have exclusive didn't ever pop up, but they're not good games. They're really not. So had this been Sony exclusive, for sure, yeah, they would have got a nod for sure.
Okay. So lately I've been playing. I just popped back in Tears of the Kingdom and played a little bit more with that. I can't even remember what I was doing. Oh, I decided I was gonna go after the Fierce Deity. I call it Deity. Fierce Deity outfit, the costume or whatever. So I did that thinking like, okay, now I'm for real. This time I'm serious. I'm about to start doing the story stuff.
Right.
Nope.
It never happens.
Oh my God.
Like I was so serious this time. I got the suit that I want. We going in, baby. Started doing some stuff in the depth. Got all sidetracked.
Hey, somebody real quick. Somebody did it, man. Somebody went on ahead and Ultra Instinct Kendrick's mustard.
Oh God.
They altered and it's hard.
I just
send me the link. Send me the link. I gotta see this. Oh boy.
They had that beat. Oh my gosh, that joint is hard.
Let me see.
So
Yeah,
I
can throw it on there.
Am I wrong? And Vito, correct me if I'm wrong. In Reincarnated, was he trying to rap like Pac in the?
No, most definitely.
Okay. I was
because even the sample was an unknown Pac song.
Yeah.
So yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Cause he had like that raspy, like like he was going. I'm like, is he trying to do the pop thing? Because that's what Drake was supposed to do. Like, if you're gonna use the AI, at least use the cadence or something to the effect of that artist.
For real. Yeah, that was definitely his pop flow.
Gotcha. Okay. Man, but yeah, I just saw that. Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah, send that over so we can throw it on here real quick. Send it via Twitter.
So crazy we took all this Twitter.
right.
Ignore the X.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the only thing we call it these days.
Yeah, Twitter.
Yep. It ain't. He will never get the true name out of us.
No.
Yep.
Let me see. Share.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Oh,
it's got to be this one.
Hey, Sandstorm, we need this.
Okay, let's see. Turn it up.
Let's peek it.
Full screen that.
Hey.
Second bad, but I'm my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, 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 turn this TV off.
I need this beat, Sandstorm.
Ain't no other king in this rap thing makes siblings. Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. I'm in a city with a flag beginning growing.
You know, it's so funny.
I'm about to lose my voice tonight rapping.
This is the
beat.
one. See, I didn't see this one. I saw the one that I just sent to y'all. Like this one, they were using Fighter Z as like the video.
Oh, dude.
The one I sent.
Yeah,
the one I sent. I was like,
they did the Black Goku on
that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, why didn't do the black? They got the Black Goku shit back chilling.
Yeah, somebody got D Wade statue talking about some mustard.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it ain't never gonna end.
It's another loss for Drake. I'm sorry, bro.
Yes, it really
I thought you were gonna, shake the dice up in October, but
And see, that's hard for me because to me, I've never been a fan of Drake after I think his first or second album. Like to me, I felt like he went to this very monotone rapping after a while, like almost like he was bored, and that's what lost me. So I'll never go on the fence and say I was never a Drake fan because Drake for me early on was the one that was snapping very early on, and then at some point it was like, I get it, you want to do the mood music kind of like Joe Budden, but that's just not my thing. Like that is what it is, and then it seems like he's very monotone on a lot of what he raps on now too. So I lost interest, but yeah, this right here is something different.
He said that's Blackarat.
I like that.
What up, Dark Sunrider? Appreciate you coming through, bro. Joycey said the fact we let Drake get this far is somewhat our fault. No, that's facts.
Yeah, that's 100. That's 100. We knew he was Jimmy.
Yeah,
and we let Jimmy roll.
You was Jimmy the whole time.
We knew he was Jimmy this whole time, and we allowed him to wheelchair his way through the rap game. And we gave it like, okay, yeah, he got a little melodic. Okay, he's singing. Okay, the next thing you know, now he's
Jimmy popping guns.
Yeah, now he's Champagne Poppy.
Right.
Like, cuz where'd that come from?
Right.
Hey, buddy.
I don't know nobody named Poppy in Canada. Besides Canada Dry, that's the whole thing popping in Canada.
Hey,
Bars. Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
That
He's
is.
got a way for Kendrick and Lil Wayne.
Ooh. I don't know.
That's that Wayne, he accepted the challenge too.
Yep.
He said, I'm ready. He said, don't wake up the giant. Nobody wants to see destruction, including me.
Yeah, I seen
but
that.
you wake me up, I will destroy.
But here's my thing, right? Anytime I see like the podcast or whatever, they always ask people what are their top 5. I will never put like a Wayne or Jay-Z or Eminem in my top 5 because I feel like they're past that ranking status. It's like your legend is cemented. Like for me to do a top 5, it's got to be people that's actually doing it right now still. Like granted, Wayne's still rapping, but I feel like no matter what he does, you can't diminish what he's already contributed.
Wayne's still rapping as like when Mayweather was still boxing, but he was doing exhibitions. Yeah.
Like even though he ended it perfect, if he was still boxing, I'm not counting that loss. Like, he out here BSing. So, but yeah, it's just about to spark up to it again with this back and forth between Kendrick and Drake. But if Wayne get involved in it, don't get it twisted. Wayne still Wayne still got it. Like if you hear any of his recent features, like Wayne still got it and saying stuff that he hasn't said. And for him to have as big of a discography as he has, a feature set that he's had, and you not repeating anything, that's difficult. I find myself like writing. I'm like, damn, I said it last time. Like, let me write this up. Like, I said that 2 albums ago. Like, dang, but it was just that clever. It came back to my head again.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
He said, I never liked Drake. He always seemed fake to me. He's clearly a child actor. I thought his second album was worse than his first.
Dang.
Dang.
J Big representing heavy. He said, I would never put not anything above a New York rapper. Nothing.
That's a tough.
Nothing. That's
tough.
That's New York.
That's
they all
tough.
Gonna say that regardless.
That is.
That's what they. That's how they feel. That's really how they feel. That's the birthplace of hip hop.
100%. Like they're 100% entitled to that. I just can't think of a NY artist right now that sounds like a New York artist.
I can see that. I feel that.
Because my thing was like that sound, that New York sound. And that was actually something that they were just talking about on the Joe Budden podcast. Like, there's not really an artist that's really at the top that sounds like a New York artist. Everybody sound like they're from the same spot.
Yeah. Popular, unpopular opinion. Well, my opinion, unpopular opinion. But I actually like Sean better than I like M. That's just.
Ooh, I'll go a step further. I like Royce over both of them.
I'll take that. Yeah,
100%.
Hey,
I'll go to a point where y'all don't even realize that this happened. But I put Exhibit before all them. Y'all didn't know he's from Detroit, did you?
Really?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
to the Z?
Exhibit.
Yeah.
Yep. Forgot about Exhibit.
Yeah.
BG, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's good,
Oh,
man?
yeah.
Appreciate you
For
coming
sure, for
through,
sure.
bro.
Appreciate
You
it.
want to? Hey, do you want to hop in the chat? Like you can come through if you want to. I can send you the link. Like it's no problem. If you want to jump in, you can jump in, man. I'll send you the link. Yeah. So yeah. This whole Drake Wayne thing is gonna be interesting. Drake Wayne and Kendrick thing. 2026 is gonna be off the chain. They're gonna start right in January.
Yep.
And despite Vito, yeah, I'll send you the link, man. This I would not put it past that this man would throw something crazy at the Super Bowl, but it'll be like real nice, like because you got to be real nice in the Super Bowl. But I bet you he throw a swing, just a real quick little jab.
It's gonna be a monster on the beat. Like,
you imagine though,
if
Kendrick goes to the Super Bowl and has a song with a slight Wayne jab, in New Orleans, that's a way to kick it up. Like you really, he even said on his album, he's the greatest of all time right now. He's standing on that. Not I'm the best in hip hop. I'm the greatest of all time right now.
Yeah, he say the GOAT.
He's the GOAT right now. I'm like, that's a strong.
And to think this is just a throwaway album, like he actually, you know, what's crazy. I don't know if people are going to agree with me, but there's 2 tracks where he actually got dusted on this track, on his own track, right?
Right.
And I feel like to be the greatest, you got to get dusted by a young dude.
You have
and he had humility enough to allow that to happen and to show this talent and stuff like that. To me, honestly, that along with lyrics, along with other aspects of his craft and who he is as a person, makes him. You can argue, he's the greatest of all time. Like, Wayne wouldn't do that. He would probably take that verse off, or Jay wouldn't do that, which he did.
He would. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They'll probably take it off and be like, "Oh no, we're gonna say that for later or something." You know what I'm saying? But he's allowing people to shine and do like that. To me, is a real G. You know what I mean?
100%.
So 100%, he'll go down as a legend. I'll definitely put him as legendary status right now.
Jay, what is going on, man? Like, you all right?
What happened?
You all right?
Was it blig? Everyone got you.
Dang. Like, you didn't like Carter 2 Wayne. You didn't like Carter 3 Wayne. Wow.
You didn't like the stepping out the mother and called this J.R. Birdman, my paw, spoiled brat, born rich, dear Mr. Toilet. He got these other haters pissed because of toilet paper. I know. But tripping at 40 make a chip out of potato head whip and light ranch. Come on, man. Stop playing.
He said the best the best Wayne verse. The best Wayne verse was off Back That Thing Up.
You back it up and stop.
That's crazy. Because
what up, Rob?
What up?
What up?
Yeah, but the crazy thing is too, it's like in this one, when I say I never get it, I never hear anybody mention it. And I feel like if I'm not mistaken, he wrote the entire album. He wrote both his verses and he wrote Birdman verses. But the Like Father, Like Son album, that album never gets mentioned, but it's got crazy bangers on it. Yeah. And the lyricism on it is stupid too. Like, I know Birdman doesn't write. Like, the fact that you have to go into that album, write for both you and somebody else, and like you carry that whole album. But yeah, that Like Father, Like Son don't get mentioned enough. If you've never heard Like Father, Like Son, please go listen to that album.
Yeah, classic.
What's good, fellas?
What's going
on with you?
Yeah, dude, I just got out of I just saw Gladiator 2.
How was that?
Yo, man, oh my god, it was awesome on the big screen, for real. Like, oh my god, it was so good.
I'm glad you say
all like the special effects, the production design. You really feel like you're like in Rome. It's insane, like all the sets and the costumes and just how the Colosseum looked and all that. It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you could, like, that's one of those movies that, like, if you don't see it on the big screen, you're like missing out. You know what I mean?
Oh wow. Okay.
So it was really dope. I'm a huge fan of Gladiator 1, so I had to see 2. Just because, like, and again, I went in saying, like, okay, it's not gonna be as good as 1. Like, I'm not gonna think that going in. And if you go in like thinking that, like, it was really good, and for you guys too, Denzel rocked it. Like, he was so good in it, like, because it was kind of like, I don't know, he started off like, you didn't know, like, in the beginning of the movie, like, no spoilers or anything, but in the beginning of the movie, you didn't know kind of like which side he was going to be on, because he was kind of playing like both sides. And then you just see him transform, and he stole like most of his scenes that he was in. Like, he was really good. So yeah, like, honestly, I don't know if he would get a nod, but I could see why people would say, like, for supporting, like, he would get something. But yeah, it was legit. If you even had, and the thing I liked about it the most, sorry, I don't want to ambush your conversation.
No. Go ahead.
But one of the things that I really liked about it was that, you know, when sequels try to like flash back to the original movie, and it just comes off like, oh, they're just doing this, it's so forced because they just want the people to like see it so like they can like kind of catch up. I feel like when they did the callbacks, it really just fit in the flow of the movie.
Okay.
Which to me is like really rare. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of times when they do that, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like totally took me out of it, and it feels like forced, and like this really shouldn't have even been here. But I feel like they did it really in a nice way. So like the people that actually, like, even if you didn't see the first movie, it's like so good. But even if you did see the first movie, it's just like, oh, okay, I can understand why they're doing this, and it kind of like fits. So I credit to that, because a lot of movies try to do that and they like botch it. But this one like totally did it. So I mean, if overall, if you guys like big, you know, and then the combat sequences were nuts, like they were great. My only critique, the only bad things about the movie is that, I mean, again, it's Ridley Scott. You guys, if you've seen a lot of his movies, they're usually a little long. It probably could have been cut like 10 minutes, and I think it would have been the same effect. So I think like maybe like a 10-15 minute cut, and it would have been just as good. And 2 of the animal sequences looked a little like sus. Like they look like, but it was weird though, because there's this one sequence that everybody was like in the reviews, they were like torturing it, they were like butchering it. But it was weird because when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I understand what they're saying, but I feel like it was only like 2 of the instances of the sequence that really like made it stand out. They would have just cut like 2 of those little instances and wouldn't have looked as CG, right? And I think it would have worked. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was close. Like I understood going in, like, yeah, I know, like I went in knowing that those were going to be like kind of corny. But it was, but you know what? Like I understood why they do it, because they're like trying to separate it from the first one too. You know, like, okay, what can we do that people that aren't saying like, oh, it's the same exact movie again, you know?
Right.
So yeah, but I mean, totally fun. Like it was a fun popcorn flick. And if you really liked the first movie and were like into the lore and kind of like the backstory of it, you're going to get way more out of it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, so if anybody was, you know, on the fence about Gladiator, I think it's totally worth it. It's like a fun popcorn flick, great like effects, great battles, you know, cool gladiator fights and stuff. So cool.
I was on the fence because I've heard so many people be like, "Oh, it's not good," and then
no, I think like I gave on my scale, I gave it like 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
So for me, like again, it's not like the first movie to me was like a 9 and a half. This is like a 7.5. So I still think it's solid. I think it's worth seeing. It's just, and it's not as good as the first one, which was, I mean, that was the best picture winner. So it's hard to, you know, do that again. But super fun though, fun movie.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I didn't want to ambush you, but it was.
No. You're good. You're good, bro.
Yeah. So what were you guys talking about? I can chime in. I didn't.
We got like way off topic. We were talking about the whole Kendrick situation, and we
the new album, even the self drop.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And talking about him versus Wayne, I guess that's happening. So
yeah, and then like I heard he was calling Snoop out too. Yeah, because Snoop was like kind of like going with Drake. But the thing is with Snoop though, if you guys have been keeping up with Snoop, he's been one of those guys, like he's not really taking sides anymore. Right. He's kind of like just trying to be like the elder statesman of hip hop now. He's not really like West Coast or nothing. So like I don't really understand. I understand Kendrick with Dre, and they're like they have that affiliation, but I didn't understand like he's kind of cool with everybody now. He's not really like he's not really like drawing the line in the sand anymore. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, because he knows how to best put himself in a situation. I mean, he likes both artists, and I think when you have like that type of I guess level in the game, you want to do that. But when you have artists like Kendrick, that's like, hey, either pick a side or you on the other side,
right?
You'll catch
you're not with me, you're against me.
Yeah, and that's how Snoop was in the beginning. So like I understand that, but like what I'm saying is now he's like almost 60 years old. So like like he's not in that like space anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah,
I mean, he still gave him a shout out. He was like, the album's good, and respect or whatever. But
and that's the best you can do. I mean, the best you can do is just like, hey, look, I hear you, I know where you're coming from, but good album. I'm just gonna stay neutral. Like,
he's like, I got a missionary drop, and that's all I care about right now. Did you guys hear the new track today?
No, I didn't.
You
I was
going to
jump into
out.
Cube next because I saw Cube drop today.
Cube dropped the whole record, so I mean that's going to take more time. But like, this is just a single, and Dre's on it too. It's that classic back and forth, like they're back and forth rhyming. The beat is fire. It is so good. It's called Out of the Blue. Oh my god, it's great. It's really good. I'm impressed. I'm actually really impressed with it.
They said the album was gonna be crazy. They said it was gonna be crazy.
Well, I mean, the production, like Dre, you guys know Dre is so clean with his production. Like sonically, the guy's on another level. It's just like if it's gonna resonate with like the masses. But I mean, like you guys are producers, like when you listen to his like production value, it's like insane. And this beat is the same thing. Like it's just so good, the production value. But yeah, it's definitely check it out if you guys can. It's called Out of the Blue. It just dropped like I think yesterday or something. He put it on his YouTube. Really good. And it's good to hear Dre, because I was wondering too. I was like, it's been 30 years since they did an album. I'm like, is there a rhyme scheme? Are they gonna be like just as good, like the chemistry back and forth? Like I know they've done songs here and there through the years, but like to do like a full whole album together, like would it come off like corny? Would they sound like AARP rapping, or would they be like really on point? You know what I'm saying? And I really liked it. I really liked the single. So definitely check that out if you can. I'm gonna check out the Cube too, though. I know that whole album dropped, so I'll check that out.
It's a lot of music, and I hate this time solely because if you're working on music, it's like I don't want to listen to anything else right now.
Right?
You don't want to get you don't want to be like influenced too much.
Put stuff in my ear.
I just finished my album, so I can listen now. I'm out of that zone right now. I'm out of that zone, which is cool. But and thank you, Jack. Thanks again, man. Streets of Rage is like, oh my god, they're like loving it. Everybody I talked to, even like my parents, like, man, I really like this. Like, they really like. And then my parents loved like the thumbs down one, like Katetsu did. So I told him I was because I had a message to it and stuff. But thanks again for that, dude. The reception's been great. Really,
you already know how that goes. You already know it's future work, man.
Man.
You already know how that goes.
Great. But,
so I was saving this topic of the switches are underpowered piece of crap for.
I'm waiting for this one.
For Shadow, because you know how he
is. Man, I love when Shadow drops. He's the best. He's like a minister when he's Crazy.
Yeah, like Shadow, do you have some
Yeah,
words?
Shadow. Like, he's a minister on that.
So I'll save that topic for later. But getting into some of these nominees, I know Brand Smith said he was really waiting for us to get to talk about these. So, have you guys had a chance to look at the nominees for the Game Awards?
Yes.
I saw some of them. Yeah, I saw some of them. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely chime in. I played a lot of the games. See, that's one thing I don't like about the Game Award nominees. I feel like a lot of the people
don't play
that
all of
vote don't play all the games.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So, and I was definitely mad about some snubs. So when we get to those topics, I will let you know about some snubs that I was not happy with.
So I'm gonna start from the bottom and work my way up to Game of the Year because I feel like that's probably the best way to do this. So we'll start off as I don't care about Content Creator of the Year or Best Esports, like Winging It, Shadow, Sandstorm, Jack, Vito, Mob. Ain't none of us on there, so like at that point it don't matter, you know.
Too low on the totem.
Right. So most anticipated game. We have Death Stranding 2. It's called On the Beach.
Yeah,
really?
On the Beach. Hey, look. Hey.
Okay, I will tell you my thoughts on Death Stranding. I literally had the director's cut of the game free, and I still haven't played it. So that tells you my anticipation for this one.
Ghost of Yotai.
That's gonna be
Grand Theft Auto 6. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Monster Hunter Wilds.
Really, it's got to be GTA 6. Everybody's waiting.
Oh yeah. GTA 6 is gonna win it because that game might actually be the highest selling game of all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, so
I really don't want it to win, but you know it's going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can we chime in on our personal?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I think Grand Theft Auto is gonna win like landslide.
Yes.
But I got to say, Metro Prime 4, I am so ready for that game. I played Metroid Prime the remaster, and I remember when that dropped, people were like, "No, this isn't on the Switch. This is Switch 2 footage. This doesn't even look like you Switch can't."
Right.
And that's for your topic later. That's for your topic later.
Yeah.
But man, 4, I just can't retro is it's kind of like they're kind of like Panic Button. They're like wizards with Nintendo hardware. So, I mean, I think it's probably going to be a cross-gen release anyway. I think it's going to be on the Switch successor and this first Switch, like kind of like a Breath of the Wild type of thing.
Yeah.
But man, I can't wait for that game. I'm really excited for that. So.
Yeah, no, I'm totally in agreement. It's definitely going to be a cross-gen. That's why I said it really sucks because like in a world where you have a good a hype game like Metroid Prime 4, you know how many people was crying over that trailer? Oh my god!
The GIF, the animated GIF. Yeah. The first one, the animated GIF people got like crazy over. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
In a world where Grand Theft Auto exists, it's just like, that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else was gonna win. I mean, to Rockstar's credit, this is the only franchise that you can really, really take your time on. Like they don't have to keep giving you one annually or even 4 or 5 years in, because the game, they got to a point to where not only was the single player good, but then they had an online aspect that just kept it breathing. Because without the online, honestly, like GTA 5 wouldn't have sold what it sold. But at this point, and even I found out too that the reason why it was still selling too is the shark cards that you would get with purchasing the game was cheaper than just getting the shark cards. So like if let's say for example, if I if 200,000 VC cost me $50, but then I can just buy the game for 30 and they give me 300,000 VC, then I'm gonna buy the game and just not reinstall it, of course. But just buying the game at that point. So my numbers look crazy.
A cash cow. It's just a game. It's crazy. Get respect to them though. I mean, the game, like the basic game was so good. And then they had that nice Dr. Dre kind of online expansion, which was cool.
Right.
They got super creative with it. So
yeah, they did.
Shout out to them. Hey, they're making money, so it's good for video games, to have a big banger like that. So,
but how many are going to try to follow? Because that's always my concern when the number one game or a generational game shows up. there's bound to be a few copycats that come or try to come behind it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't have what's the other one? What's the gangster one?
Saints
That,
Row.
yeah, that just went way off the handle. We don't have that
Saints Row,
anymore.
the remake, just kind of like killed
That
it.
was so
They're like,
disappointing.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
really they had it. If the remake did well, I think they would have like pushed forward
Yeah.
with more stuff. But that really, I mean, it went in the bargain bin after like 2 weeks, so that was pretty.
Yeah, they should have just stuck with the gangster stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited now. Mafia, the new Mafia game. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mafia's always been a sleeper. Like
Now,
that's
I'm just gonna
right
throw you
with-
guys too. If you haven't played, I think it's like $5 now or something. Like, you know, you can get it super cheap. But one of my favorite remakes ever is the Mafia remake.
Mhm.
It is one of the best remakes, like, period, that I've played. Like, compare it to like the first game. It's literally night and day. It's like when we got Super Mario World to like Super Mario 64. Like, that's how big the jump looks with the remake. It was incredible. So I'm really excited for the new one.
Right.
Old
Yeah.
Country, I think it's called. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, man.
Yeah.
And the thing about Mafia is they're always serious. It's not you don't really get the like joking undertones of it. It's like
Yeah, the
this
dialogue is
this
just very
different.
like natural and like all the
Yeah.
character, like especially in Mafia 2, like
Yeah.
the characters are like it's almost like you're watching a movie. That's how good the
Mhm.
dialogue
Godfather is straight up.
Yeah, it was yeah. So I'm like, you know, obviously I'm biased to that VGMobster, but it's awesome, man. Like I love that remake. I'm actually gonna play it again on Steam Deck OLED just to like play it portably, just because I can.
Right.
And just try it again because it's been like a while because I got it launch. But yeah, I'm psyched for that one too. We can add that to the list too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Joycey J said she's never played a Metroid game. Like period or like a Metroid Prime game? Because like if you ain't never played a Metroid game,
You got to play
Some
Super
of them are
Metroid if you have.
yeah, you gotta. Wow, dang.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
Play
some
Super
definitely-
Metroid. Do yourself a favor. It's a
Yes.
classic.
Definitely pick it up. I mean, you got it on what the Super Nintendo and on the NES. So if you got Nintendo Switch Online, you can definitely play it there. So
Yeah, it's definitely Super Metroid, and then also Dread was incredible.
oh, Dread is
You guys have it. Yeah, I would definitely recommend if you want something like a little more like modern in terms of the controls. Like Dread is actually a really good place to start too because that's an awesome game.
yeah.
Yeah.
That final boss battle is dope.
Rage Quit?
Yeah. Oh man, memories with
great,
that
though.
boy.
It was like it's one of those games when you play it, like once you get once you learn the angular, shooting, like once you get it down, it's just so smooth. Like the gameplay, it's great. Really good game. Definitely recommend that.
So for me, Metroid Prime 4, obviously, but I say this time and time again, Jack already knows. I'm a whore for samurai games. So
Great,
yeah, Ghost of Yotai looks really good. You get the double swords. I feel like this is like a homage to the Star Wars game, The Force Unleashed. When you move to the sequel and you ended up getting two swords, you're like, oh, wait a minute. But that one was trash. But this one, this one looks like it's going to be really interesting. At first, I was kind of iffy about it being a girl, but like,
right.
Have you seen Kill Bill, man? Girls can be bad.
Right. That's the first thing that came to mind is like, yeah, she could actually end up being really sweet. She could be way sweeter even than the original character.
Yep. So let me ask you this then. So I played and finished Ghost of Tsushima. Now,
Director's cut or the regular one?
Director's cut.
Okay, cool.
So after finishing that and seeing what that was, what does this one do different other than story?
Nothing.
Because in reality, if you look at the game, right, the one thing I always credited Ghost for was like, hey, there's this power or this weapon out there that it's in mythic history, like it's legendary. So this is where you have to do, and you got to go and find it. And when you find it, it's like this epic battle at the end before you can achieve it, opposed to like, oh, I found this spot, so let me just grab it and now it's mine. Like you had to earn it. And then the story was good. Of course, with any game, if you're gonna have open world and you're gonna have like structures where people are holding forts is going to get repetitive in that nature.
Yeah.
But when I look at Ghost, outside of like increasing the story, I don't see what you do different. And that's just me.
So there's two answers to this on my perspective.
Okay.
You have the realistic answer of what you can do, and then you have the Sony answer of what you can do.
Okay.
I want to hear the Sony answer first.
So, in terms of Sony and what you can do, all you do is make the world bigger. You add a couple different moves for your new character. You add some different swords that you get, and that's about it.
And a DLC roadmap.
And a yes, and a DLC roguelike. And you may and the multiplayer come later like it did with the original Ghost of Tsushima.
Right.
Outside of that, there's not really much that you're changing because you're like, we got a perfect formula here, like you did with Spider-Man. We ain't doing too much different. Now the real answer is you can actually add the RPG elements into this game to actually make character actual unique, right? Yeah. So whether you want to build up the stealth side of her or build up her sword
combat or something.
Yeah.
Speed.
But
all the attributes,
we ain't doing it. They ain't doing that.
You think about it, because there was no I gotta do this before I go here. If you didn't have to have a specific weapon, you didn't have to have any type of level. You could just walk into anything as long as you knew how to play the game. You were fine. Now it made life easier when you got different abilities when it came down to like fighting the brutes and fighting different types of characters because you switched your stance up, which I felt like was a dope system. Like the stance switch, it wasn't something that got implemented and it was like you can use it if you want to. No, you better use it because otherwise it's gonna be a long fight. But that's interesting. Maybe they have different stances in this. Maybe
they probably will. But
I like that answer though. Since I think adding like not only even just RPG elements, but adding more customization to your character. I think people really, especially if you're going to do the Sony, as you say, and add multiplayer later on, like I think that would be a cool way to kind of bridge the gap as well. Because you say, hey, I can bring my unique fighter into the different things, and I think people just get attached more to characters when you can add like skins and different attributes to it. I think that could be a cool thing to do. And I agree with you though, that if you can add, because the thing that was great about Ghost is the open world system. It just felt fresh because it wasn't like, okay, I have to go to this marker that I see in the distance. It was just kind of like the way the wind blew, or like the way that the sun was kind of like hinting you to go, or like you're seeing animals going in a certain direction, or there was all different like subtle cues that pushed you in the right direction. And I think that was like refreshing, for open world games.
Yeah, that was definitely the best part of that game, especially when you could do the flute and make it all foggy and stuff. That was we ninjas at that point. It's foggy in here. Like I'm taking them all out.
That was cool.
Great game. So from most anticipated, we go to best adaptation, which I feel like I know which one is going to win, and it should win, but. I've heard another one is really good too. So we have Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, which I didn't know had an adaptation, and Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft.
Arcane should win that hands down to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I love
Arcane.
I love Arcane. Arcane is dope, especially now. I'm not a fan of how they're doing what everything seems to be doing right now, of like doing these splits. Because even now, like I just started watching something I didn't even know existed, and it's in season 6, and that's Dragon Prince. It's at the last episode of season 6, and it's like, oh, we'll show it to you on a later date. Like, why? Like I had like, why is that a thing? But yeah, I'll give it to Arcane. But I mean, I would love to hear everybody's input, but Arcane for me.
Fallout.
Really? Sandstorm, I'm with you, man.
Really? Fallout was so dope.
Fallout to me did the impossible, in my opinion. I had again kind of like our Gladiator talk I just had before. There have been so many live action, especially in the TV genre adaptations of video games that literally suck. Like they don't get it. They don't understand the world. They don't bring any of the lore in. Like the costumes just feel off. You don't feel like you're in that, environment that the games, especially Bethesda games, that's like their specialty is building out worlds and characters and NPCs. Fallout to me just nailed it, like everything about it, like, and even the ending of the first season, like, it's been out so long, I'm just gonna say it, like, going into like the New Vegas like setting and like setting that up, and like I felt like it was an extension of the game, which is like what we all ask for as gamers, right? When we watch like live adaptations, we're like, I just want to be in that world, but in a different medium. And I feel like Jonathan Nolan, who actually executive produced and directed it, like I feel like he did such a good job of doing that. And I feel like the acting was great. All the shelters and everything was like, to me, it looked just like the game. So to me, to get it to that high caliber of a level in a live adaptation, especially in a like long form TV series, I got to give it to that personally.
So what was the Tomb Raider one?
The Tomb Raider one was on Netflix.
Yeah, that was a cartoon, an anime, like an anime style.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw it up there. I just never watched it.
Like a Dragon was on Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was so disappointed. I haven't seen it, but Jag knows of my Yakuza love. I was talking to all like my Yakuza fans, like that are really into it, and they were like, all of them were like disappointed. I was like,
yeah, no, it was a disappointment. It was a waste of time. It was only 6 episodes though, so that's a good thing.
Okay, that's good. It broke my heart, dude.
But that's an interesting choice to go with Prime, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Fallout was Prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, and kind of like Mob said, like Fallout, to me at the beginning, let me back up. We had a game movie before then, and what's the terrible movie with Kevin Hart? He will forever be condemned on that one.
Borderlands, right?
Borderlands. Yeah. And Borderland is very much a very goofy but very serious like game. You know what I mean? Like
cool art style. Love
the art style is so when like going into Fallout, it has that, it's not the same but similar kind of premise, right? There's a lot of goofy stuff that happens in Fallout, but it is very much a very serious game. And so to turn that into like a whole series, it was like you either got to hit this or you're gonna fall flat on.
And I thought they were gonna fumble it.
100%.
And then I saw like the first 2 episodes. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
they really did better than I thought.
Yeah, they did a really good job in handling the ghouls. All the way down to the knights and everything, like even like the CGI where they had to bring in some of like the monsters and stuff like that, it was on point. It was on point. The acting was on point, just even the storyline. So it definitely surprised. I think that it should win. But I have heard a lot about Arcane. So
no, Arcane is great. Arcane is great. I'm not discrediting Arcane. I'm just saying, like, I guess for me, like I was saying before, because it's been failed so many times with doing the live adaptations of the games. Like we can think of like the Resident Evil movies, like the live action ones. They were just oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it.
That's funny.
It brings back like PTSD for me. Like, it's so bad that like I even appreciate it more because I was like, man, wow, they really nailed this in a live action medium. So for me, that makes it win. Now again, I'm not saying season 2 is going to be just as good, but season 1, like, which is what we have now, was just like, it just did something that so many other like franchises and series have tried to do, and they didn't even come close. And this one like really nailed it for me.
So with these adaptations, do you all tend to favor more towards the live action versus like the animation, or does it matter?
It really just depends.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It
really
just depends.
The quality of what it is. You know?
Gotcha.
Like,
Okay.
and now again, like what I say now, I guess what I would say for me personally is that because the live adaptations have normally been so bad in the past, I usually am like, okay, I'm gonna go for the animated because they'll probably do it better. But this one was like way better than I thought.
I gotta get Fallout.
It's got like I think on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like it's like high 80s or something. So you compare that to like anything else, I mean, light years ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta check it out then. Okay.
No, but Arcane is great. Like it's really good.
Like, that roped me in. I forgot who even put me on Arcane. And because I'm
not
probably
was Jay, because I know Jay was like all over when it first came out.
And I'm looking, I was like, Arcane. I was like, this is League of Legends. I was like, oh, I gotta go play the game. But then I realized, it was like one of those.
MOBAs.
You know, that's funny you said that too, though, because when a series is good like that, it gets you to pick up the game. If you haven't played it, and literally right after I saw Fallout, I installed Fallout 4 on my Steam Deck OLED, and not only did I beat that game, I had to download the DLCs. Like I was just hooked in. Like again, I was just hooked in. So, to me, that was really cool. And I think they even said, right? They said the downloads for like Fallout games after the series was like peaked, like 150% like jump or something. So I mean, it definitely worked.
Like while it's an expensive route, this is how you get more people into gaming. Because imagine how many people that they weren't even in gaming, and they watch Fallout or they watch an Arcane and they get into it because they really want to be invested. Like those characters exist in the game. It's not like these fake characters that you create just for the sake of creating them. So I mean, because even like, for example, even though I've played the game, me watching the Uncharted series was not gonna make me go play Uncharted. Like it's just me watching Last of Us, it wasn't gonna make me go play. It wasn't.
I mean, Last of Us was good. Like it was good. I'm not taking anything away from it, but I agree with you. Last of Us is one of those games that you just kind of like. I don't know if you would jump back into it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a great game, but I don't know if you'd jump back into it after that.
Is Knuckles on Blu-ray? I'm not sure. Vito, what was your pick?
Huh?
What was your pick?
I don't got one on that one.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good.
I don't know. Would you put Knuckles on Blu-ray though? Would you even take the time to do that?
It's streaming on Paramount.
Paramount,
Paramount, I think, because I don't think it's enough for you to put it on Blu-ray.
No,
I think it was It was a limited series, right?
It was from what I understand, it was kind of to set up the next movie, like the end.
The third.
It might be an extra with 3 when it come out on Blu-ray, so that might be included.
I can see that.
You know.
Oh, that's true. That's a cool. Maybe they have like a collector's edition that has that included or something.
I had to start going back to buying Blu-ray because we were looking for Hunger Games. My fiance wanted to watch Hunger Games, and we had no idea where it was. And it's on Stars, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it was over.
Because they keep changing, like the licensing agreements, they keep bouncing around, and now like a lot of them are like, oh well, we're not making as much money, so even though like it's our studio, we're gonna license it to Netflix all of a sudden, or we're gonna go to Max all of a sudden. I'm like, what's going on?
Because Disney does the same thing. It was like, oh, we gotta finish our contract out with Hulu, and then we'll bring it over here, or Paramount, like because me and my kids like watching Victorious. And now they will watch it on Netflix, and now it's only one season on Netflix because they're moving it all over to Paramount. So it's like it's the weirdest thing, and it makes you want to purchase. It's like I'm tired of trying to hawk it down. Is ridiculous.
And it's just so convenient on streaming, especially for just for TV series, especially. You know what I mean? Like you just go to the next one.
The prices on those are ridiculous. I remember when
I know. I either get I try to a tip for you guys or anybody listening, like Black Friday, they always have deals for years of Paramount or Peacock or Max or whatever for like $20 for like the year. So like if you really like interested or you think you're going to be interested in something that's coming like next year and you kind of want to get a good deal, like look out, you know, for next week.
I almost budged on the George Lopez show, and then finally on Paramount, and I was like, "Oh, whew, you saved me." The whole season or something is like easily $100+ for a season.
Yeah. That's true. I rewatch Martin on HBO Max. Oh my god, it's still such a great show. That show, it's still so funny.
All right, so we're on best multiplayer games.
Ooh, okay.
Out on this one.
You said you ain't got a lot.
I got to bow out on because I'm not a multiplayer dude. Like
no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There is even something for you, Jack.
Uh-oh.
So we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Okay.
We have Helldivers 2.
Okay.
We have Tekken 8.
Okay.
We have Warhammer Space Marine 2. And we have Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Oh, we can throw in there. It's not winning because Nintendo's category is the family category. So if I'm gonna go with who's going to win, Call of Duty. Now, when we talk about like the reception of what received love this year, Helldivers 2 could
Helldivers crushed it.
Like, they crushed it this year. So I mean, we know for a fact that it has a winning chance, but
does it really?
Yeah, I'm with Jay. Hey, it should be Concord on there. You know what I'm saying? Concord.
No, the Concord. Hey. We gotta do a write-in ballot. That's
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Concord fan vote. That's it.
I'm not voting.
Hey, did y'all know? Hey, real quick, did y'all know on a secret level that's supposed to come out on was it Prime? That Concord is actually included in that, so they're supposed to have an episode in there.
That's gonna be embarrassing.
Yeah, that is wild. I looked at that. I was like, Concord. I'm like, wait a minute, that didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys, okay? Because I don't know if it's just me, but like when every trailer that I saw for Concord, right? I was just like, why are we pushing this game? Like, what is new? What is original about this game? Why would anybody pay $60 to play this game when like was I the only one like thinking that? Like, I don't know why the Sony people didn't think that. Like, I'm still shocked by it
because that. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I was like, when I looked at it, I thought that was literally like a free to play.
Yeah, that's what I think everybody thought.
And then they said it was like, pre-orders, and I was like, pre-order what? How you pre-order a free-to-play? Like,
skins or something? Pre-order skins? Like,
right.
I don't know. To me, I think, and this is just me being playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
We have Overwatch. You still got like the mobile games here and there. I mean, there are some other hero games that still exist, but I think Concord could have thought we have Sony fans that are loyal and we can continue to expand on this. Also, this can get us into that, that forever reigning pool of money, along with, I think they were going to do something with TV and movies and stuff like that. So it kind of goes back to, in a very funny way, the situation with Microsoft and Sony with the Activision deal. Like we've said time and time again, that if Sony would have just stayed with the Killzone or stayed with the Resistance, they wouldn't have to cry over a Call of Duty. But ultimately, I think this could have done that. I just don't know who wins in this hero thing, because the hero things don't stay long, especially when you got the Marvel one coming right around the corner. Like,
all right, so Jack, let me respond to that then. So let me respond to that then, right? Okay, so if Concord is supposed to be this big thing and they like had it lined up for all these different spots and different mediums and stuff, like I know they didn't do it well, but if you really believed in it, why would you give up in like a month?
Because your fan base didn't believe in it.
No, I understand that, but there's a lot of things that they had down the pipe to try to get people into the IP. So why did they it's to me that's what made it even worse. I'm like, you guys had all, like you're saying, spots in TV. They were planning. They had like the Concord controller. Remember, they had all these different things, and then they just gave up. I'm like, well, what if you guys retooled it? What if you made it free to play and got the fan base back again? Like, it was just really weird that they.
I got a perfect answer for that. So I'm with you. just because you have negative reception now, if this is something that's supposed to be
A month in.
everlasting, you continue to fix. You go back and you ask, what is wrong with this? Because there are some people I've seen play it. They said there's nothing wrong with this game. It's just people genuinely just didn't like it for what it was. Because really, this to me,
pivot a little bit, right?
Right. Like I feel like there's this fight for we don't want live service games. And I think it just kind of fell into that pool. But at the same time, too, I put Sony in the same bed as Google. If it doesn't give me instant success, I'm done with it. Like Google is the same way. Like if they have great ideas, like they come out with great things, and the moment it does not do what they expect it to do, not that it doesn't do good, but that they don't expect it to do, they'll get rid of it.
Yep.
And that's why I feel like Sony doesn't have a lot of IPs right now, because they don't stick with them long enough.
And exactly. And I think the other problem with that, and on the larger scale, is that you're talking about what does Nintendo do the best, right? They build brand loyalty. They build brand recognition, right? So now, even if this game like failed, right? The thing is, it's a lot of people too are going to say, "Oh, look at Sony's, like whenever Sony does live service, I'm never going to do that again." You know what I'm saying? So like now you've like alienated a lot of people that might not ever even try another game because you gave up on it like so bad. That's why I don't understand. We've seen games like, look at a perfect example of this.
I know exactly where you're going.
Oh yeah, I don't know. This game, No Man's Sky.
That's exactly where you're going.
Yeah, No Man's Sky. I mean, that game when it came out, the reception to, I mean, it got like pretty much nailed on the cross. It was that bad, like when it came out. And you'll give respect to the developers. They went back, they reworked the whole game. They ended up doing it on different platforms too to expand the base. And now that game, people have diehard fans, and you know what? They're gonna make another one because of that.
Yeah.
So that's why I was really surprised, that they did that.
Jay, to answer your question, Astrobot, I feel like they will keep it. They'll keep it around. I think it gets another iteration on
one more console.
Yeah, one more console. Like it has to blow it out the water, because here's the thing with that game. It's a great game. Like it deserves any award that it receives. It's just like I said on my Xbox video, that's not the crowd. Like it's not on. To me, it's not on the right system. And because the Sony crowd is now we want the movie, action adventure story.
That's Sony's fault, though.
That's Sony's fault. Yeah, same way I said with Xbox, the shoot 'em, bang bang. That's their fault. So look at Astro, amazing game. I told Jay, yes, you can play the game without the functions of the controller, but you're killing yourself with that. Like
the immersion's broken. Like
it's broken immediately. So I think they give it another shot, because when you look at platformers outside of Mario, of course, nobody's doing crazy numbers like that. Like you got to compare it to the Hat in Time, the Super Lucky Tales, games like that. Like you got to compare it to.
But they want those Mario numbers, though.
Okay,
everybody wants to, but you got to build it up, though.
Exactly. That's what Sony's trying to do. They're trying to skip to the end of the line and not remembering that the work that Nintendo put in to get to that point. All the games they made, all the the fans that they built, release after release. That's what you got to do. You got to build your IP. I mean,
but then also too, looking at Astro, and this is something I've said before. Even if they keep up with Astro, if they do not give Astro its own lane, and what I mean by that is, if you play Astrobot, it's paying homage to a lot of games, but there's no originality within that game. And then even when we talk about, functions of how you maneuver with Astrobot, it's spin, jump, and then you have like the suits. Like there's not much else you're doing with the character per se. It's where with Mario, we've gotten to the point now to where he's punched, he's spun, he's done tuck and rolls, he's using cannons, he's using jetpacks. Like he's maneuvering in such a way and bouncing off of walls. Like he's doing a lot. So for me, Astro has to get to a point to where yes, they have original bosses that you fight,
The bosses were awesome in that game.
They're amazing bosses.
Mhm.
They have original, like, little small enemies that you fight here and there. And then I even like the power-ups to where you have the monkey power-up, you have the power-up that make you very tiny. You have so many different power-ups, but when I look at, okay, if you're going to build on the type of game, you got to build characters in this game. I don't see characters coming from this game because they're all Astrobot faces and they just have
Right.
Like there's Devil May Cry, there's Street Fighter, like that's cool, but then what are the Astrobot characters outside of the final boss? I mean,
They're Yoshi. They're Yoshi. That's who they are.
They're looking for that too. They're Yoshi. Like they're Yoshi, they're Luigi, they're Peach. What are those characters?
And the other thing I gotta say about Astrobot, and I think Sony definitely should not give up on this, is that the turnaround time to do these games, this is what Sony and Microsoft need right now. They need AA IPs that they can push out in less than 6 years.
But
do you see what I'm saying? Because now we have all these long droughts, and you can have a solid game like this, which again pays homage to like all your other Sony IP. So it kind of might even get people to go back to like after I played it, I wanted to go back and play God of War after this. That
level was crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. So what I'm saying is like they definitely shouldn't have banned this IP because it's a solid AA game that could kind of fill in your calendar while the other big games come. So that's another reason that they should keep it around.
So question for you. Now, I agree. Like that's how you keep people from frothing at the mouth for the next one and trying to force you to release the next big one. Because does that Sony crowd buy those games? Because they've clowned Nintendo games from like, oh, Mario's on everything. Like Mario is doing cards. Mario is in this smaller game, that smaller game, realizing that's building the brand to prepare you for that Odyssey.
Right.
Does the Sony crowd even buy those games?
Well, okay, how about this? But also, okay, yeah, they might. I mean, I don't know if Astro Kart would do well. If that's your question. I know what you're saying, but like, but you know what they've done, which has been really nice too, though, is that on the last two systems they put an Astro game as like the bundle game with the PlayStation to kind of help build the brand. And now with this game, maybe after after they do one more iteration and it builds upon what this game did, and again continues to keep the Sony fans loyal, then why not bring it? Try it on a multiplayer thing. Try it with. I mean, I don't know about Kart, but try it with like something else and see if that works. I mean, I feel like I think it can, but again, Sony, like we were saying, Sony has to stick with it a little bit.
Yeah,
you gotta build this brand. You're doing a good job. You put it as the bundle game. You made a really solid game that actually, like we can talk about later, has a chance to win this year. It really does. It has a chance to win. So build off that momentum. Even if you didn't win, you're like, oh man, it got nominated. A lot of people even look at the nominees, and you can build off of that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared though. I think it's a foreshadowing tale to me. I would really I agree. I definitely think Astrobot has that place and definitely can grow if Sony takes the time to actually nurture it and grow it. But there is another character who is almost exactly the same in every single way, and they fell off too, and that's Sackboy. Sackboy was all the way there. He won an award for a year. And that just from PlayStation 3 to 4 just like fizzled out so fast, and now people don't even really know who Sackboy is.
The only thing I'll take away from that, because Sackboy got his kart racer, it got his multiplayer, it got all of that. I think the difference between Sackboy and Astrobot, along with the control schemes, the levels, and how he maneuvers, is better than Sackboy. Like I feel like they relied on Sackboy.
So tight. The controls are so tight.
It's super tight. Like they relied on Sackboy from a customization standpoint. Like when you play those games, it's all about like, look at my costume, look at me with my emoji, and look at this. When you play the game, is like Sackboy's just Sackboy. Like it's just a puppet that you jump around with. He's not doing anything. Like even the latest game on the PS5 that I'm pretty sure a lot of people forgot. Like you don't do anything, not for real. So he like for him to come from what PS3
Yeah.
PS3 to PS5, there has not
PS5,
been an
yeah.
evolution of Sackboy.
No,
Like it's been the
no.
same character through and through. So I think Astro has the ability to
Exactly.
do
I think the studio behind Astro is super talented. So I think you got to give them another shot.
Mhm.
You know, to really build upon the foundation that they're building here, you know. And then you know what, after the next game, if there's really lack of innovation, not a big step forward or whatever, okay, then you reevaluate it. But I feel like now you gotta try it again. You know, I think after this was such a great effort and such a good step to get a AA IP back to relevancy with Sony, which they used to do so well, which is like,
they used to have plenty of those.
And now they just abandon them. So I feel like this is a good strategy that they should do going forward. And and again, then maybe, that's the thing. Okay, Sony has this thing, but maybe with Astrobot, maybe you can bring in different players to PS6 who may not have been, around for the, the big story games of 3 through 5. Right. Maybe on PS6, you're like, man, Astrobot really changed my mind. Like, if they do another one, I might be down, like diversify your base a little bit.
And to like, for anybody that hasn't played, what VG's talking about also, there were like levels that were dedicated to certain games that were amazing. You had with the God of War, Horizon, Uncharted, like they turned you into those characters. So as like in Horizon, you were shooting a bow and you had those characters from Horizon in there. So I mean, it was an amazing thing that it made you think like, oh man, this is an amazing adaptation of this game. Let me go play it. Now, granted, for me, I don't care anything for Horizon. So like,
like Uncharted, right? Like Uncharted, maybe I'll go back and play 4 again, Where I didn't play Lost Level, the one with the spin-off of 4. Like maybe I didn't play the Lost Legacy. Maybe I didn't play that. Maybe I'll go back and play that.
It's a great way of doing it. Bringing the like you say, and then even Ape Escape was like the first one. So clamoring for Ape Escape. So at this point, it can kind of gauge the attention there, but ultimately, I think it does have an opportunity and a shot. While there are a lot of similarities between him and Sackboy, he's far and beyond better than Sackboy.
He's the upgraded Sackboy. Huh?
Upgraded Sackboy. He's a robot.
He is AI now.
As long as they continue to innovate from a controller standpoint, Astro will always be innovative. That's where he wins every time, because without that controller,
it's not the same. I agree.
It's not the same.
Okay, so
that's our long tangent on that.
I did not, babe. But can you grab me more pizza?
Oh, this man with the pizza cut. Come on, bro.
It's a 4.
So we'll skim over these next two.
Make sure she put some mustard on the pizza too.
You don't know about that song yet.
The pizza.
Right. Best sports game / racing game. So we have F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K 25. Top Spin 2K25, WWE 2K24.
Hold on, say that again. Say that. Read those one more time. What's the category again?
Sports racing.
Yeah.
Why did
he said sports and racing?
Yeah.
They put them together.
Yeah, they always do.
Okay, so read that again.
F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K25, Top Spin 2K25, and WWE 2K24.
Oh Lord, I give it the Top Spin.
I would give it to them, but we all know that.
We know what time it is, but I'm just like,
2K is what.
I mean, even FC could actually get that nod. But, I mean, honestly,
I think 2K.
2K will probably get it, but actually, nope. I'll take that back. Isn't college football in there?
Nope. No. And that's why I was like, read it one more time. Read it one more time. I gotta make sure that your list is correct. Where are you looking at this at? Where is it at?
It's the official list.
Where at? What the site?
The Game Awards.
Yeah.
Let me go to the
Award.
site real quick.
Yeah.
Read that one more time for me. I'm not sure if I'm hearing you right.
How do you omit one of the most sought after games? Like, I get it. To me, it's still Madden with college dressing, but ultimately, it was the most hyped sports game this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I heard so much hype for that game. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, there's some other notable snubs we'll talk about later, which really make me mad.
How did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it, but then I realized you said FC. So it's that new football club.
Man, they about to make me do the Joe Budden when he was like, "What we talking about in 2024?" I'm about to do that because they put it on there. Like,
that's nuts. But ultimately, if that's not there, 2K either gets the nod or football club gets the nod, because those are kind of like the top dogs right now. But it's hard to go away from 2K because everybody loves them for their own reason.
Right. They'll win off a name alone.
Yeah.
Basically how that.
Well, we said Call of Duty's gonna win, so I mean, come on,
true.
You know,
Right. Yeah. That's
I don't have much to say in this category because they don't even have all the right nominees in it. Like,
I know that's it.
Right. I'm not voting.
We can only work with what we're given.
That legitimately something. I categories like if I don't know enough, or if I feel like all nominees are trash, I just don't vote. I'm not voting.
Like Vita, I'm abstaining.
Say about this, I'm not even gonna sway it in any direction to mess up something. Like, nope.
All right, so I'll skip over best sim / strategy game. Best family game. So we got. So here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you these, but I'm gonna tell you that Nintendo's not gonna win this.
Okay, well, I gotta refresh my memory. Let's see.
So the list is Princess Peach Showtime.
Okay.
Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Okay.
The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. The Plucky Squire.
Okay.
And Astrobot.
Okay.
I give it to Jamboree. You can't ignore Jamboree.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, let's define what is family game mean though. Like, because to me, like when you're like, I loved Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and I love Plucky Squire, and I loved Astrobot. But those games, I wouldn't say, oh, hey, like my daughter's name's Sadie. Oh, Sadie, come play those games with me.
Yeah,
but Super Mario Jamboree, we could play together.
I said the same
you know what I'm
thing
saying?
last
Like, I
year.
feel like that category is weird. Like the name of it's weird.
If they want to say a family friendly game, then just
family
say that.
friendly. Yes, family friendly.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's different.
That's the better word.
Multiplayer family game.
Yeah, Super Mario Jamboree, I can play with my family. Like, you know what I mean?
Now, I will say, and this is why I say Nintendo's not going to win. Now, if it was a family game, yes, you're absolutely right. Jamboree out of that whole list is the only one that really.
The title is full family, but anyway.
This is the reason why I don't think they'll win this year. Okay. And this is foreshadowing for the game of the year. Astrobot out of all of these is the only one that's in game of the year.
I see where you're going, because they do that every year too. Yeah, I hear you.
And I feel
if it doesn't win, if they don't give that to game of the year, they want to give it an award. I guess.
Yeah.
Where else is it nominated? Is it Adventure?
Oh, it's a few places. So it's still possible. That's what I'm saying. It's still possible. But knowing that Astrobot could be contender for game of the year, I think it's up to how many times has it won an award.
Well, yeah.
So,
because
I know it's stupid.
The definition is stupid.
Yes, the definition is horrible. Because, like Jack said, like if we're going off just the title of the category, Jamboree is the only one that makes sense. But
it really does. Yeah, Jamboree does make a lot of sense. But I think Astrobot might actually win this. But again, I definitely do see like Jamboree actually win it. Now, if for some odd reason, and this is just me just taking the 1% route, if either Legend of Zelda or Princess Peach end up winning it by complete surprise, I'll be like, well,
I'll be happy.
I'll be very surprised. Because I'm still working on Princess Peach. As much as I want Jamboree, and I haven't got it yet, but I've been having a blast with Princess Peach right now.
Oh yeah, I played it with my daughter. It's great.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's a fun game. I think what you guys are saying though is right. If Astrobot, if they're not going to give that game of the year, this could be the consolation prize award for it.
Yeah, agree.
I see what you're saying.
I vote.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I mean, we're talking how if we're trying to make a prediction, we're gonna put money on it on FanDuel or something.
Money is going up tonight.
yeah, exactly. FanDuel, you could put it on Astrobot for FanDuel.
RJ said, to be fair, I would share controllers with my family members if we lose. Like, yeah, that's old school.
My thing is this: if I could put any single player game in multiplayer, if that's the concept, because then I can around.
Right.
I feel like what you guys are saying is right. If we just put the word friendly, after it, totally different ball game.
It'll be good. Yeah. All right. So
does it not have descriptions?
Oh man, it did. Hold on.
Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's it. Let's see, what does it say?
Because that's the only cop out at this point.
Yeah, that could be if they have like even 2 sentences describing it.
Because I'm switching between two, so we're at family friendly. Where are you? Gosh, why do they have to put them in these blocks like I'm playing Jeopardy or something?
Because
it's the game award, so you have to play a game to be able to see the award.
So
categories.
Okay. So it is the explanation is for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform.
Okay, so but again, that still doesn't family play. It still doesn't do anything.
It didn't explain anything.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
That just literally reinforced that it's a bad topic.
All right, so we got best fighting game. This is gonna be an interesting one. I have a feeling I know what's gonna win, but there are a few on here that I would want to win.
Okay.
So we have Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Multiversus, Tekken 8, and Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection.
This is going to be the most dangerous one right here.
Very dangerous.
Because they're all like, to be honest, me playing fighting games and with friends and stuff, literally everything. Like, I haven't played the Multiverses. I haven't. I know it's actually free, but all the other ones I have played, and I do have. Well, except for Sparking Zero, but it's so hard to choose.
Tough, right?
It's so tough.
It's doubly tough because of one of them.
Yeah, that's the one I don't understand. You talking about the fighting collection?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To me, that's the monkey wrench in this category. Like, why are you throwing that in there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why?
It doesn't belong in there.
I think
it does. Like, go ahead.
It helps soften the blow because when he came out and said DLC remakes remasters, then you have the leverage to put this in there and then also do that Elder Scroll crap you're doing for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
this shouldn't have been in there. Like,
it shouldn't have been
even
in there.
though I played all of these except for Grand Blue, and I will say Marvel for me is the better game.
Yes, agree.
But I feel like Sparking Zero is going to win because of how big the reception was for the game.
Yep, that's right.
Sparking Zero for me, once me and my kids unlocked all the characters and we did the story mode and all that stuff, it was cool, but we put it down quick. Like,
it didn't have legs. It didn't have legs. I mean,
even though online doesn't have legs, because once everybody found out about Yajirobe and everything, like they killed it. Like, it's one of those things to where multiplayer is cool until the fan base finds a way to cheat. Like, it's
and you know, Sparkling Zero also released. Now, again, they're not going to admit this, but it's true. They have recency bias in some of this vote, and Sparkling Zero came out much later than some of these games. Like, compared to Tekken 8, like it came out so much later, so the recency bias is real.
And Multiverse didn't come out this year. It's been out.
Yeah. Well, didn't they do like a big relaunch?
Yeah, there's like a stack. Is it Multiverses 2?
No,
yes.
it's
No, it's like another season, I believe it is. It's like
It's just
it's
yeah,
one of the
season.
seasons.
So it's like
That's
Yeah, that's
kind of
dumb.
like a new game.
you're muddying the water at that point.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, well, Elden. We'll get into Elden Ring.
So-
Because really, if
That-
that's the case, like 2K does seasons too. Like,
Mhm.
can they get away with that? I don't know. That's wild.
They tried to figure out some other games to put in that list. Is basically
Then
what
why isn't Street Fighter 6 with all the new, the big
There you go.
expansion that they have? How come
Yeah.
that's not in here? Then?
Mhm.
I'm very surprised on that as well because, like I said, it's really one of those things. Like I'm not gonna be mad with ever the choices, but I
Mhm.
feel like to me personally, this is me personally, it can go three ways. Like Marvel could win it, but I really honestly think it shouldn't be on the list because of the fact of like this is all the old stuff that we all love. We've been waiting for so long.
Right.
Yeah. Like even Hells even said like Under Nights 2 should be on this list.
Mhm.
Like Under Nights 2 should be on this list. I agree with this completely. So but it still would be one of those games. It's like it's a hard call. So like Street Fighter should be on this. Under Nights should be on there, but it's hard to choose between Tekken, Grand Blue, Sparking Zero. So I'm not going to be mad whoever actually wins this one because there are really great games.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's a hard
Tekken
call.
8 is slept on. Honestly, I think
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
It really
they got
is.
slept. They got slept on.
Yeah, it's-
Most people
it's
wanted
a
Street
solid
Fighter
game.
when it came out anyway.
Yep, and then when Tekken came, it just went to like, all right, now we got stuff because now we're already in the next set of DLC or not. Well, we're already in the autumn season of DLC, and he's returned. We don't know who it is, but we only know what the winter 2025 DLC is, so we don't know.
Well,
So-
expect Street Fighter to be in the next Game of the Year awards.
Yeah,
I mean, like
With-
I think if I had to pick, I'd probably pick like Dragon Ball that they're gonna pick because like I was saying the recency bias. If I was picking, I'd pick Tekken 8 personally.
Yeah.
Me, I think I'm actually going to go outside the box. I'm just going to go with Grand Blue on this one.
Okay.
The only reason why,
that's
because
got
I think the reason why, I only think the reason why I
Yeah.
say it's because this game's been out like since it's like been in the mobile season, been in mobile. We already have the RPG version, we have the anime, we have the actual game itself. They just got the DLCs, and one of the DLCs they ended up getting us was Nier Automata. So we ended up getting Nier as a
I
pay-per-view.
do remember
that's
that.
a-
Yeah.
So
Grand Blue's an Evo too, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Grand
Yeah.
Blue
So
is
that
also
that
evil.
helps it. That helps.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I'm gonna go with Grand Blue on this one
No,
for me
that's
personally.
fine.
Yeah.
I just think I think too that's why to me I'm just personally excluding fighting collection because
Yeah.
my bias is too big on that, and to me
Yeah.
it's just a collection of games. It's nothing unique to this year.
Yeah,
So
but
that's why
which
I'm
one is
like-
winning that title? Because there's multiple games. So which
Yeah,
one?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
all of them, y'all. All
That's
of them.
cheating.
Everybody, stand up.
Exactly.
I'll go Tekken 8, but again,
Okay.
the Grand Blue, if Dragon Ball, I mean, I'm not mad at any of them.
Yeah, I'm not mad at
That's
this
a
list
fair.
right here. This is a really good list, so it's really hard to choose from. So that's why I
Yeah.
think that.
All right. So best RPG. Now we're gonna get into the silliness.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Yeah.
Hold on,
So
let me look at this list. Hold on.
we've
I don't
moved-
even want to look at Outlet.
Can we read their description of RPG? Because I really don't think they know what an RPG is.
Yeah,
That can
I
get
really
muddy
think-
too. That can get muddy as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me see here. Let me look
A
on
role
my-
playing game. That's their description.
Yeah. We just just say the abbreviation, makes it easier.
Okay, so the description is for the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Yeah.
What?
Okay, that's not only RPGs.
That-
Okay, anyway.
That sounds like
Be any game. That's
that sounds
how.
like
It could be literally any game.
That sounds like all
Right.
to me. That
Right.
doesn't sound like
Whoever
online
wrote
to me.
these descriptions should be fired.
Jeez.
Yes, agreed.
They have to fit a specific narrative.
They're obviously not the best copywriters.
2K can be
Yeah.
in this category.
it-
Literally, 2K literally can be.
All right, go ahead.
So-
Do you
So we got Dragon's Dogma 2,
okay.
Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree,
Okay.
Mhm, yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Okay.
Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth,
Mhm.
and Metaphor
Yeah,
Refantasio.
Fantasio.
Metaphor needs to win that.
Yeah, Metaphor needs to win this category
I-
for the sake of real RPG fans.
Thank you.
I will agree with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to agree with as much as like Dragon. As much as I've been waiting for Dragon Dogma 2, and I'm still working on that. And Final Fantasy Rebirth, I have not touched. I have not touched it. Mezlis to definitely get it, even though I have it as well, and I got that on sale. So I'm gonna go with this one because again, anything Atlas touch is god tier because of the fact that it's god tier no matter what. Because no matter if you do not understand the concept of how they work RPGs, especially that RPGs to them it's like normal mode to them it's hard mode. Hard mode is like, are you insane?
Yeah,
like it's got
hard mode is like, yeah, I will rage quit pretty much.
Yeah, like literally. That's why I don't touch hard modes.
Yeah, no.
I think the first time I got introduced
like
to
Player
hard
Essence beat it on hard mode. He said it was like 160 hours. Like, dude, you're an animal.
mode, yeah,
that's his genre.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's his job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean,
even that's your job. If that was my job, I couldn't complete it.
Me,
Like,
but he's an RPG junkie though. Like,
I just that was impressive.
Yeah, I am too. It's just I got again. My backlog's so stupid. Like I still got to finish the Persona 5 Royal. I have to do that game as well.
Do you have it? What platform do you have it on?
PS5.
Okay.
The ultimate. I have both the original and the I have both the but both collector's editions. Both.
I'm telling you though, I gotta say, I had it on PS4 when Persona 5 Vanilla came out, and there was just so much grinding in that game, that I like just but I'm like, I don't want to sit tethered to the TV to do all this grinding. Once I got it on Switch, I automatically finished it because I was able to grind in like on my bed or on the couch, like laying on the couch, or you can grind in the more convenient places. So to me, that was like a huge advantage.
Yeah, even like at my age and how my body now functions, I can't sit still and finish RPG. Like I gotta move. Like that's how Sea of Stars got beat this past week. I'm not sitting in front of the
It's a great game.
I'll fall asleep. It's just not. Especially with games like a Persona or a Metaphor that's dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
That's old people problems now.
Yeah.
It's just like the versatility, like just made it so much easier and more enjoyable to me. Now again, I know I'm not, but see that game to me, like, do you really need to play in 60? Like, yeah, it's nice, but you don't need it 60. Like, there's different games like where you need that fidelity. But for that game specifically, especially since like a true turn-based RPG, I was like, it was fine.
Never
need
60.
Never
need 60 frames.
Doom, I do. Doom, I do. I like my Doom 60, but like most games, I'm okay. As long as it's a solid 30, I'm okay.
That's the point right there. Is solid.
Yeah, if it's dipping, no, but if it's solid 30, I'm okay with it. Me, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm old, I guess. I played games that were like N64 were like 15 frames or whatever.
Oh yeah, no problem. And still
like Final Fantasy 8 in that battle, within the fight, 15 frames. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like people complaining, it's weird, but I mean, like once you play, like to me, when you play like a really good FPS, like it's 60, it's tough to go back.
It is
for me. Like it's nice. But I mean, I could technically do it. It just that's more important than like a turn-based RPG.
Right.
I would say
I think Metaphor on this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Metaphor 2. Foreshadowing 2. There's 3 games in this best of RPG, so I guess it can go 3 ways. Pause. For who can actually win, but I don't know how many things Metaphor is under for a category to win. So if this is one of the only,
my thing is Dragon Dogma caught too much heat with the whole nonsense that went on.
I don't think Dragon Dogma is going to win.
Rebirth, from my understanding, it was just a lot of fluff in Rebirth.
No, it's not your understanding. It's true. It was
okay.
It was like literally. I always tell people in my review that I did. I was like, this game was like 25 hours too long.
Gotcha. That's scary.
Like, no, legit 20. Like they could have cut literally like 20 sections of the game.
Oh, you came in at the perfect time.
At the tail end.
Oh, Shadow.
Uh-oh.
We are talking about these
Got
nominees.
VGMobster in here? That's what's up.
Yo, what's good? Yeah, it popped in, man. So what's up, Shadow?
Greetings, y'all. What's up, Vito? What's up, Action Jack?
What's up, man?
Hello. I'm
What up, though? What up?
Welcome.
So we're on Best of RPG, but I'm gonna move up to the next one.
Xenoblade's the answer next.
I know.
Well, if Keely's running it, it's not.
Right.
Oh my
It will
god.
never be the answer.
I always tell people I don't think the Game Awards realize that Xenoblade is actually like a franchise.
Yeah.
Well, like I said on Twitter, they have to actually play it first, and they have to admit that they didn't play it, so they can't nominate it unless they admit they didn't play it. So,
That's facts.
So we got next up is Best Action Adventure Game. Do I need to give a description on it?
No.
This is gonna make it worse. So
Because here's my thing with this category, because I do remember these nominees. Does this wipe out platformers altogether? Because I thought platformers was a genre, but it sounds like this is action adventure now.
that's only family friendly. Or no, family. Not family.
hey, did y'all nominate what didn't get nominated yet?
Nah.
Yeah. We threw in Concord. As a nomination.
You throwing this guy?
I forgot that.
It's
The corn, yeah.
it's under best sim strategy.
Yeah. Unicorn Overlord, $30 now on Black Friday. Go cop
It is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Insane.
I was waiting for it to drop from that 50 because I was like, I'm not doing 50. But I'll go cop it for 30.
I'm for whatever reason, I'm the retro last year gamer for whatever reason. So last year my game of the year nominees were 2022 nominees, and this year my nominees are 2023 nominees. So I'm catching up on 2024 right now. So I'm trying to play through Stellar Blade right now and God of War, and
I'm with you.
God knows what. So
Stellar Blade. What do you guys? I'm torn. Like I played the demo. I liked the demo. And then I haven't gone on PS5 yet because I was playing Astro, but all my favorite games came out in like 1 month, so I played a lot of them. I was like, should I? And I know it's coming to PC though.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
And I'm like, should I get the PS5 or go with the PC? You know, like I don't know. I'm debating.
I
did
the
PC
demos.
is going to be like,
It's gonna
please have
disgusting.
some type of filter before you watch
Yeah, it's
videos.
gonna be disgusting on PC. But from a gameplay standpoint, I did the same thing. I played a demo. To me, I don't know. Like, I wanted to like it. It was just something that.
Well, I needed a new bayonet effect, so I was like, really hoping for it.
I feel you there.
Because I mean, anytime I was playing it, I'm like, I see what they're trying to do, but I just kept thinking of DMC, kept thinking of Bayonetta. Like, I felt like those games do it better. I just
they did. I thought.
So
it's weird now that I'm thinking about this. Maybe I will have to read the description on here because we have best action / adventure game, and looking at all these games that's under.
It says best action.
Yeah, and then there's best action, but like
what?
Why?
Right. So we have best action adventure, which is Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown,
That game's so slow.
Silent Hill 2. Star Wars Outlaw for whatever reason, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
My pick is gonna be.
It's gonna be Astrobot.
Astro.
What are you doing? No Princess Peach.
But
no.
That was in the family.
My pick is Astro.
She needs her flowers, but probably on the DS. So
I feel like Legend of Zelda's gonna get this one. I feel like, but why? Yeah, why is Silent Hill there?
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't deserve.
That's
to
a
be
remake.
there.
They don't have a horror title.
No, they don't. They now remakes are accepted. Apparently,
nah. You got to go back to Xenoblade then. If that's what we're doing, like
exactly.
Xenoblade doesn't exist.
Remakes count. Like we got to go back to Xenoblade. Like what are we doing?
That's next year. But yeah, I for my pick is Astro, but ultimately I think they're gonna lean it towards Legend of Zelda because right now it hasn't won anything.
Nintendo hasn't won anything. Yeah.
So if all right, this is my stance on it. If Astro is gonna win this,
right?
Then I think Zelda should win Family.
Family, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like I feel like they're intertwined. Like there's.
Astrobot and family. Astrobot and family. Make Sony earn that burn that Nintendo's been keeping for so long. I mean,
no, but you know what I'm saying?
Nintendo
Like,
territory.
I think those two are gonna flip flop. Like whoever doesn't win one will win the other one.
We'll win the other. Respect.
Yep, I agree
make
with
Sony earn that badge too. Like,
Shadow, you missed my rant about Sony trying to do different genres and AA games. I went off, and I know the chat doesn't want to hear.
I heard bits and pieces of it.
And then
like,
Star Wars Outlaws I've seen is pretty bad. Like,
yeah.
I think next year the game will be good.
This year with DLC, yeah, it might be the saving grace. Okay. All right, so best action game, which is different from action adventure. Hold on, let me read these off.
Yeah,
please, action.
Okay, next year when you guys do this, let's change the category names to things that actually make sense, so that we can pick the real winner.
Somebody need to tab Jeff on the
Sandstorm is T or G? Is that a new person?
No, that's it's usually under Poison, but that's
yeah.
I can't think of. You know who it is. You know who it is.
Are we ready for Xenoblade: The Sunny Spawn in existence at the next Game Awards? It's not.
They're not going to put it there.
No, Xenoblade will not. No.
Unless,
it'll be like nominated and like
deal with Doritos. It's not happening. It's not happening.
If it's not the side of a Taco Bell box.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be, man.
That is hilarious.
Okay, so best action game. The category for best action game is for the best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat.
Okay.
It means Stellar Blade should be in here. That's what I think.
Stellar Cheeks.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Stellar Cheeks.
It is in here. Versus best action adventure is for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving.
That's too much. What? Hold on. Say what? Say it again.
For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. That actually makes more sense than the other one.
Okay, God of War type stuff. All right, cool. Go ahead.
They're all in the Astrobot, Prince of Persia, Silent Hill, Star Wars. They all do that. So
they do.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
God of War if it was.
But I honestly think for those, 3 of them should not be on that list. But 2 are fine.
Yeah.
For best action adventure.
Okay, so best action game, we got Black Myth Wukong.
Yes.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Why?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Thank you.
There's puzzles in.
No.
There's puzzles. There's puzzles in the campaign. There is.
No, this is just best action game. So, but with that being said, is there really combat like that in Call of Duty? Helldivers 2.
There's follow above somebody's head. And you follow until you get to the next cutscene.
Helldivers 2. Stella Buns. And Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Okay.
Wukong.
Okay. Warhammer.
Wukong. Like, what do we?
Because here's my thing. This is where things get messed up. Because when we talk about action and we're talking about fighting, I'm not thinking of first-person shooters. I'm thinking of like actual.
Right. Unless it's like that one game, Bright Memory. Like maybe Bright Memory, but most people.
Maybe Batman. Like.
That too. Right. That would be a thing. VR.
Yeah, that's true. That honestly, that makes more sense than some of these nominees. So.
And that's PSVR too, right? Or is that just Oculus?
No, that's
Quest.
That's Quest. Okay.
Yeah,
that's legitimate then.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And it's an original title, right? It's not a remake. It's legit. It's an original scratch for. Yeah.
Respect to Meta for doing that, man. That's good. They got
even though it's catching a lot of hell for it, but
hey, you know what? That's what they need, though. VR needs experiences like that, original experiences on established IP. They're actually good.
No sequels, no remakes.
But here's the problem with it, though. The same stuff we have over here in the console space is over in VR, to where it's like you have those that want it to be this high graphic fidelity situation, so it has to be on PC too. And it's like, I get that you have whatever quarrel you have with Facebook for whatever reason, and then you while still using the platform. But but then it's like, I could if it ran like trash or if it looked like trash, but it looks amazing and it runs amazing.
So if they do that though, then they got to make it compatible with HTC Vive. Then
there you go.
They're going to do that. Like if you're like, well, we want the full graphics, make it compatible with HTC 5 then. And if that's the case, then you get your full fidelity and you get all your things that hook up to the PC and then go from there.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know anybody that has that type of space to put cameras in the corners of their room and do that. Is too much.
But if that's what you're asking for in terms of fidelity, then
Right.
Yeah,
finish a basement just for that. No furniture. Nothing.
Like I said, people got upset with that game because it's not on PSVR 2, but it's like Quest put up the money. Like,
yeah, exactly. Now again, it could also be it could be a timed exclusive as well. They never said it would go out there, but
they are not doing that.
It's one of those things where it wouldn't have been a project if they didn't put the money. If you know,
it's like Cuphead with Microsoft, same thing.
Yeah.
So,
like I said with Bayonetta, like it just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So what are y'all thinking? I personally think it might be Black Myth. If Black Myth doesn't win anything else above,
it's definitely Black Myth.
It has to be Wukong.
I think Wukong is gonna win.
But that would be a candidate for action adventure too, though, right?
Yeah.
And it both
but Wukong wasn't in action adventure, was it?
It wasn't.
It should be.
It wasn't.
No, but I'm saying it wasn't. So
no. It's
Stellar Blade is in both. So
look, I look. The only thing I say, I Wukong, I definitely think is going to win it.
I think that's fine.
It could be Buns though. Buns can really get that.
I think Stellar Blade has a chance. Like, to me, because when I read off when I'm thinking of a traditional action game, like Stellar Blade is a more traditional action game than a lot of these other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it fits the action adventure though, like because
none of the
it's more action.
Yeah.
It's more the little puzzles that you're gonna do are like side quests, just like Nier Automata.
Yeah,
so.
they're like really very basic.
So all right, so we have one that Jack is probably the expertise, and I'm gonna go off of strength and say that whatever he says is the one that's gonna win. So we have best VR AR game.
Okay.
I trust you on this one too.
We got Arizona Sunshine Remake.
Okay.
Asgard's Wrath 2.
I heard that was pretty good actually though.
Metal Hellsinger VR.
Wait, what is Arizona? What is
Arizona Sunshine? Is actually it was one of like the original that came out, but they did a remake because part 2 came out earlier this year.
What's that on, Jack?
Quest 3 or Quest in general. But what they did is they took the engine from 2 and remade the first game. And then they also added co-op. So now me and my son can go through and play 1 in co-op mode. So it's pretty dope. But go ahead with the
keep going. What else?
Metro Awakening.
Okay.
And Batman Arkham Shadow.
Batman. Gotcha.
Okay.
Batman done.
So Metro Awakening is on Quest 2?
It just came out. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Which I don't know if this one is a 3 exclusive because like Batman, you can only play it on Quest 3. You cannot play it on Quest 2.
That's the other thing I don't like about VR is the lack of the backwards compatibility.
Oh, that's crazy.
I understand,
but some of that stuff is SDK stuff though.
Yeah.
So I know. I understand. I'm just saying it's tough. Like I think that's like people were really mad when you couldn't play PSVR 1 on 2, especially. So I'm just saying, like, I understand, like, technically it may not be possible, but I'm just saying to get people to adopt, like, it was that.
Yeah.
3D is different though. There's a completely different API for different versions of like.
Oh no, I understand. Technically, I understand. I'm just saying, like, it was tough because people are like, I mean, it's still linked to a console, so you're still gonna kind of think like a console, you know.
Okay, so I will definitely go with Batman needs to win this.
I hope it wins.
When you look at Asgard Wrath, great game, but VGL put it in the same category as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It should have ended a lot sooner than what it did. Like they're to give you context, their whole pitch was, "Oh, there's 100 hours in this game." I'm not
VR
for VR. Yes, I'm not spending 100 hours in VR. Now, it's a great game, but a lot of it could have been taken out. And I think where it wins also too, Asgard Wrath you got for free if you bought a Quest 3. And then you can also
that's
get
an
a
advantage.
Quest 2. So it's got a bigger audience. Now, Batman, you also got for free if you bought a Quest 3 or a 3S at a certain time. so it came bundled with the console. The Hellsing, what was it, Hellsinger? I haven't played it. Metro Awakening, that one I haven't played yet either. I mean, that's not in my lane, especially in VR. Like, that's nuts in VR. Like, that's a scary one for VR and me. But honestly, I think Batman's gonna win it because it got a lot of love and it got a lot of content creators and reviewers to review a VR game that typically don't even touch it. So
that's true.
I'm curious. So that one should win. Like, Metro just came out, so the fact that it would win would be kind of weird. But if Batman doesn't win this one, that'd be crazy.
Oh yeah.
I think it'll be good for Batman to win though, because I feel like Batman could be like the killer app, like you said, that would get people to jump into VR that wouldn't have. So I think winning this would be big for VR if Batman wins it.
Here's the big thing though. You just dropped the Quest 3S. That's $300. That's the cheapest headset right now, and it comes with Batman. So you got it. You got a certain time frame to go get this and get a free game with it on the scale of Batman.
And do you know the length of the game?
It's like 20.
Oh, that's nice. That's
crazy.
solid then. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, but that is if you don't go and do like the Rat King.
Yeah, I'm talking about normal gameplay. I'm saying.
Yes. I mean, if you don't want to do like 100% it, like 20 some odd hours.
To me, that's perfect for VR. I think that's like 100 is too much.
And what makes it even better too, let's say, okay, you missed out on Asgard Wrath and you want to play it, but you don't want to spend, the money on it. If you pay $7, and I'm pretty sure they're doing deals to give you like 3 months of Meta Plus. That's on on Quest Plus now. So now you can go and get that game and play it if you pay $7 a month for Quest Plus, along with other games. Initially, when it came out, it was only like
3 on the Quest 3. You're saying,
Okay,
or that's
2.
cool. Oh,
so like if you have like, so Quest Plus when it first came out, it only gave you like 2 games a month, which was horrible. It only gave you 2 games a month. Then like shortly after, they was like, here's a whole catalog of games and the 2 games a month that you can get for you to, if you're a Quest Plus member. And then also too, you get 30% discounts and then also discounts on other games if you have Quest Plus. So it's pretty dope if you're jumping into it now. But Batman should win hands down. Like, Asgard was cool, but not 100 hours. Like, cool.
That's too bad.
Jack, I got a question. Do you think the publishers will finally pay attention to all the mods that are happening? Because I just pulled up. I just had a strange inkling in my head. And I just looked up all the mods for Quest 3 and one of them was for Portal 2.
Yeah.
Like, you would figure, like, so now you need official support, right? Because you have a mod that's more popular than official games for the platform. So why wouldn't you, like, Valve should be all over there, right?
So there is a company that does. It's the company that makes Blade and Sorcery. They embrace mods 100%. So they try their best to keep the Quest and the PC version hand in hand. So like the Quest version just caught up to PC with the actual like mode in the game, because initially when it released, it was just sandbox. But mods are officially supported in both PC and Quest. So there are companies that already do it. Like, they'll respect it. Like, even Beat Saber, they respect it. The only downside of the Beat Saber is every time they do an update, it wipes all your stuff out, and so you got to re-download it again.
Oh wow!
I did not know that.
I feel like that's a huge miss.
Yeah,
I feel
that's one thing that they have to address in the next like VR stage. They have to make the quality of life and the transitional aspects of it more accommodating, because I feel like that's a huge deterrent to like VR players. I gotta re-download this. Oh, I can't play this on this version, but I sold my 2 to get a 3, and now I can't play that game. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they just have to find ways to find that happy medium, to transition between gens.
True.
Yeah. Now, just to get people,
to give Quest their credit, anything you bought, it came over. Like, that's cool. 100%. That's why I stayed away from the PSVR 2 at first, because none of the PSVR 1 stuff came over. Understandably so, but it didn't come over. Eventually, I did get a VR 2, and then I'm like, okay, Sony's not supporting this, and still are not. But when it came down to the Quest, my library,
I heard they're still trying to make games with PSVR 2 and keep updating it. That's
somebody else is making it, but it ain't Sony. Like,
it's like Sony's Wii U.
They
don't care.
Sony ain't making them. So, but when it comes down to like Quest, my whole Quest library was there. Now,
that's cool.
Was it Batman is the only game, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. Batman is the only game that is exclusive to the 3. Everything else can be played on the 2 as well, because they have.
See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Sony should do, like, they should try to. And again, I understand technologically it may not be, but they have to find some sort of way, like Quest did, to kind of like keep people to get invested in that brand. You know, now, like you're saying, like you're more confident in the Quest brand going forward. So like Quest 4, Quest 5, you're okay because you're like, yeah, I know more than likely, as opposed to PSVR, my games are going to carry over. Yeah, you know, and I just have more confidence in that. So I think that's important. You know,
the only downside I will ever give the Quest right now, I mean, there's a few things, but the real problem right now is their app. Their app is the biggest problem, because if we're talking about growing a platform, you need to be able to showcase what are the top dogs on your hardware, right? Imagine if I went to Nintendo's eShop and some 99-cent waifu game is up there as like the top dog game that I see when I get on
at one point,
and it was
the eShop's like the Wild West, man.
It's crazy. Like, you don't know what the top dog is. So same thing with Quest. If I go to the Quest right now, you would have never known Batman released.
Bad curation right now of it.
That's out of pocket.
Got it. Like, I go to the screen because they're, to truth be told, and what they're doing is, if you're saying the top sellers is what's supposed to be up front, then it is. Because while Batman is a fantastic game and it's affordable, your what is it called? Freaking Gorilla Tag. They're the top dogs. Gorilla Tag just sold 10 million. It's literally a game with kids run around like a gorilla. Tag. That's it.
Yeah, my son plays that like crazy.
My kids love it, and they watch YouTube videos of how to do proper climbs, and like those type of games was bumping right now.
It don't take much, just be fun.
It don't take much. And then now they're constantly trying to push Horizon Worlds. Now, granted, there's some cool stuff on Horizon Worlds, but not enough for you to like push out a Batman. But that's their problem. They have an identity problem right now, because before Gorilla Tag came up, their big push was working out. So you saw the Supernaturals, you saw the Beat Sabers, you saw like all the VR boxing stuff. Like, that was what was up there, because they knew, people were getting it for workout. Let's put that up top on the app. But then it's like, hold on, you just dropped Arizona Sunshine 2. That game you just advertised, a huge game, and it's a great game. But if I don't know any better, I'm not finding it on that Quest store because it's hard to find.
See, and that to me, that's another fumble on the VR side, because then you're not bringing in, like, the people who are doing it for workout are like, they're there already.
There you go.
What I'm saying? Like, bring in new people. You have to build the base. You know, bring in like Batman, right? Could bring in, like I was saying, could bring in people that have never played VR, never any idea to play VR. But the Batman's on there. Okay, let me try it.
Iron Man, because Iron Man's still there. So, but I'll say one more thing, since I know we gotta move on. But the one other thing that seems to be the huge problem when it comes down to Quest, also, it extends down to, if I'm going to, let's say, I don't know, if I want to get into any type of game whatsoever, for example, one very, very fantastic game, especially for musicians, Maestro. Maestro just released. And Maestro is an amazing game. Like, literally, you are the maestro playing in an orchestra, and you're pointing at your different sections, and they're playing, and you got the crowd behind you cheering, and the whole area changes. Like, you're doing it in downtown New York. Like, it's amazing. I go type in Maestro. There is a fake Maestro that's up there that pops up before the real game shows up. So if I don't know any better, I'm getting that game instead of the
download like the fake clone or whatever.
There you go.
Got it.
And I was like, you
Makes
gotta
sense.
fix that.
That's So that it seems like the curation of the shop just needs to be like overhauled.
It's bad, very bad.
Yeah, that sucks.
But they're going with the big dogs, and the big dogs are Gorilla Tag.
Can I ask one alibi question before we leave this topic? So VR slowly waiting for Nintendo to re-enter the space after Virtual Boy.
Nintendo would crush this from not only gaming standpoint, but marketing. Quest still has not figured that out. They market whenever something big happens, and then they don't stick with it. So, like I said, they went from, oh, we're doing everything as far as VR is concerned. Then they advertised Beat Saber because the rhythm games were a thing. Then they advertised working out because that was a thing. Now they're on the spin of mixed reality. Oh, everybody's doing videos of I've got on my Quest and I'm cooking and I'm cleaning up and I'm watching YouTube while I'm doing this. They're only catering to whatever's popular at the moment, so they have no identity of what this is.
They're not sticking it; they're chasing the trends instead of
trends. There you go.
Instead of making one, so Nintendo would just be like, "Hey, Switch VR done."
There you go.
We are it.
Nintendo will stick with it, but the fact that I know what a Quest is, and the biggest thing was, oh, you can play VR. Oh, now it's mixed reality. Oh, now it's working out. Oh, now it's rhythm games. Oh, now now you can watch TV or YouTube anywhere. And then really with the Xbox thing, they was like, oh, now you can play Xbox because as Xbox said, Quest is an Xbox now. So
it's like worst campaign of the year. Read the nominees. Oh, it's Xbox.
Right.
Microsoft's AR projects look pretty good initially. I don't
really do.
I don't know what they decide why they canned it, but they had some really good stuff.
And then now they're on that productivity train with Quest because they now just did their partnership with Quest to where the way that the Apple Vision works with your MacBook, your Quest now works with your Windows computer like that.
Nice.
That's smart. Quest is doing good things though. I feel like they're moving in the right direction with VR. I think they're trying to. They just need to fine tune it, but I think they're moving in the right direction. So,
Quest is more consumer friendly, so I think they understand at least that part. So
yeah, exactly.
I think they're definitely in the right space to be successful.
They got the lead, but they better figure it out because they let Apple figure it out first. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Yeah. But right now they're strapping the Mac Pro to your back, so I don't know what.
Right.
Once they figure that part out, it's a wrap. Because you saw how they made the Mac Mini this big.
I just saw that because at first I was like, oh, they just changed the style. Then I'm like, whoa, that is tiny.
It's only a matter of time. Smaller than the Apple TV.
That's wild.
So, all right. So I'm gonna skip over best mobile game because that's gonna be Balatro. There's no question about that. Best debut indie game again. That's probably gonna be Balatro. Though the Plucky Squire.
I was gonna say I have to vote Plucky, man. That game was incrable.
The only reason why I won't vote Plucky because I couldn't finish the game.
Oh, what happened? Did it crash?
I don't know if I was on this one or I was on Winging It podcast. I was in the section where I had to move like a block to open up a certain area. Somehow the block warped to the middle of the stage and I can't get to it. So I've reset the game. I've started I just
okay. Yeah, you had problems with it. I played on Steam Deck on the OLED and it ran great.
It was great.
I had one. I had a launch. There was one bug, but then they released an update the next day, and I was able to continue. So I can only speak from that side of it.
It was a great game. All right. Oh yeah, Steam Decks, ROG Allies, we all up in here, man.
Okay.
The Steam Deck OLED, I love it. So
I want that white one so bad, but I'm I don't need it. That white one looks so amazing.
But I want the black Xbox Series S, and you can only get it refurbed because everywhere else they want $500 for it on eBay.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find. Oh, it's right next to it. Okay. So I know we complained about this. I want to say last year and probably the year before. So we just talked about best debut indie game, but then you also have best independent game. Two different categories.
So why is the debut a thing?
I
We know
don't
what
know.
that is. We know what that is. This is the game we want to promote because vendors.
Right. So under best indie game, again, there's another game in here that I would want to win, and as Neva, but
Ooh, that game's beautiful.
Balatro is also on
Electro
here.
is the favorite, clearly.
Yeah. So it needed to win too if
Okay.
it didn't win anything else.
If we're predicting what's going to win, it'll be Electro.
Yeah.
So best community support, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 7, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, or No Man's Sky.
If that's not Fortnite, I'll be kind of confused.
I'm trying
Or
to figure
you-
out why Splatoon ain't on this list. Like, what are we doing?
And then No Man's Sky, like we just talked about that. Like
That's the community for No Man's Sky is insane.
No Man's Sky, as far as like, but then they already gave an award for it last year, didn't they? For
They
best
did.
Yeah.
ongoing.
Yes,
Ongoing
and
game.
it's not under ongoing though this year.
Okay.
Mm.
Did they
Ain't
even
that
have the
wild?
category this year?
How many times?
Yeah, they got it, and
Okay.
yeah.
How many times can this game get nominated for something?
Well,
it just
since
never
since it
stops.
failed initially. Like they
Yeah,
gave it
and-
an award even though it failed initially. So they
It needs to make
their
up.
fault. That was like they lied about it. Like
yeah. But
Yeah, but you know
so,
what? They
so
stuck with it. You know, Sony. You know,
that's
you
my
did it with
industry
Concord.
take.
You did
That's
it
my
with
industry
Concord.
take right there, right? So we know the Game Awards is just glorified advertisement, right?
Pretty
But
much.
you got to keep it a buck when you lie. Like if you
Exactly.
like, so why are we? You can't just say, you know, you have to say, hey, look, you know what? Star Wars 1313 came and went. That was a lie. Like you have to say that. You have to say, hey, Watch Dogs didn't look like that when it came out.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a
That
lie.
was
You
not.
gotta say these things, and it's not happening.
Wait, which category is this again? I'm so
Best community support.
And
So, like-
you said Final Fantasy 7? Wait, what?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7.
No, it's
Final Fantasy
14.
7
I'm sorry,
14.
15.
14.
Or 14.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
yeah,
about to
It's like
say,
7 has no
I
color.
was like, wait a minute.
He's going
14 is about to go
Fine.
mobile.
Don't
so
you
know,
remember? They threw it on the Switch. It's getting the support now.
But they're going to
Yeah.
clear it because they're supporting mobile now, so they're going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so me personally, I mean, I don't care for Fortnite. Not my cup of tea, just being honest. Although I hear good things about it. Well, two people, but I'm not my cup of tea. That's just me
Fortnite's
personally.
fine with the right amount of people. It's fine.
Yeah.
I dove back into it. It has way too many game modes. I didn't even know it had all that until
Yeah.
I said, "What is this?"
Yeah, it's tough to go back now if like
Yeah.
you haven't been in it for a while.
OG though, just you sitting on that flying bus and you drop in. That's what's up.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that was the
me-
old. That's what I played.
So me
Favorite.
personally, my decision on this, and some of these names are to be good candidates and stuff. I'm gonna stick with what I have been played for the longest, and still I haven't touched in a while. I'm going with 14. I'm sorry. I'm going.
I
with
heard that's an actually great
But it
game.
should.
For it is an amazing game. The same person who actually, the same creator, producer, who did this game also does 16. He has did that with the I think it's Naoki Yoshida and Soken, who actually does the music. They both done 14 and 16, and we just got the announcement of him doing Final Fantasy 14 for mobile.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and
14
he-
is been a big cash cow
Yeah.
for them too.
Oh, yeah.
so.
Wow. But you don't hear
Wait,
much
free
about
money.
it.
Because, yeah,
Other
because
than-
now they're up to the point where I think they upped the graphics even more than what what it is now. Because with the new expansion they got, they was like, well, we got this new expansion, we have this out, and we're gonna upgrade the graphics to what it is now, to more crisp and everything. I was like, all right, let's see what we got. And trust me, I just did a test run on my computer. I was like, oh my god, what is this?
It's just a theme of these awards is just really tough for me though, is that
It-
like
yeah,
we give so much credit to these games that just like do massive updates. Like where are
Yeah.
the new experiences?
There you
like
go.
it's just like
exactly.
that just like really hurts me in these categories. I'm like,
So,
you're
but-
not giving new experiences, like you're dismissing new experiences. Like then how are we gonna learn about them? How are we gonna
Exactly.
make them grow?
I'll say-
Like, it's just-
I'll say Sea of Stars then, because me just
Yep.
glancing at the free content that's coming
Mhm.
in that game, like
Oh yeah, that
I'll
just
take
dropped with free.
yeah, that's like a huge
Free
expansion
multiplayer?
to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, new prologue and everything.
That's nowhere to be found in here. So.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's
Okay.
It's the What do you expect? It's the leveler to Chrono Trigger. What do you expect?
Right.
Mm.
So we got best ongoing game. I know which one I want to win. I know which one is not.
Oh boy.
So we have Destiny 2.
Okay.
We have Diablo 4,
Mm.
Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2.
Why is Helldivers 2 there?
Wow.
I'm still trying to figure out why Splatoon ain't on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Under none of
Splatoon
them.
still people are still playing Splatoon.
They're
Yeah.
not
Keep it
going to
above,
ever
I'll say
give
Animal Crossing.
Splatoon love. They're not going to give Splatoon love. Ever.
No, it's
It's in
a
that
family,
gameplay
a family category. So.
Yeah.
Family
But
game.
why is Helldivers here? Like Helldivers
Yeah.
hasn't even been out for more than a year.
And it fell off.
Yep.
It did.
Oh, it fell off real hard. It fell off in like 2 months. It fell off.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, you should have some time limit on this. Ongoing, it needs to be past a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
think that's what happened when I
So
said
by
about-
default, should it be Fortnite?
Really, it should because that's
Really,
been.
it should.
Yeah.
It's been.
Destiny 2 has been going on a long.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want Diablo, and Diablo's right
Yeah.
over a
But-
year because
Yeah,
that came out.
Diablo. I'd probably go with Diablo here.
But keeping
First
it above,
time.
Fortnite is the longest project.
Oh,
amongst
yeah.
all
It
of
is.
them.
Out of all of them, yeah, yeah.
and
Fortnite
still
might
holding
be too,
up
hold
like
on,
Like
Fortnite might be-
2007, I think, was the original beta for it.
and
Like,
still holding
Yeah.
Oh,
up.
it's
I mean,
insane. It's insane.
By
mean-
that
I mean-
description, it should.
I mean,
win.
to be honest, I think that's just been the longest. Fortnite and 14 are basically the only two that's been out the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between the two. So
if you're
it
going
can-
on that, but
yeah, if you're going on that,
14
yeah,
is just a sequel to 11. So, like, yeah.
No, it was actually not a sequel to 11. It's actually they had the 1.0 version of it. It actually did bad because they had someone worked on it before, and then all of a sudden, Naoki took over and remade it. That's why it's called Rebirth or Reborn. Sorry.
Wow.
So he
So it was
he
that
basically-
bad.
It was
11
that
was
bad,
good.
and then he fixed it, and it turned out better than what it's supposed to be. So, to be honest, like I said, it's a hard call. I mean, like I said, Fortnite can definitely win it. 14 can win it. Diablo can definitely win it. So it can go either or.
Anybody
I don't
but Helldivers.
Right.
Based on what you said, though, it should be 14, though.
Yeah.
Question on 14 because
But-
I'm looking at footage now. Is this a nightmare with controllers?
No, it's on PC.
Because
You
I
can-
mean,
you can-
I know it's on PC, but I'm saying like I'm looking at how many things you could put up here on the screen. This has to be a nightmare with controllers.
But on
That's-
PlayStation, it's
but-
a different interface, though.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
can change.
okay.
But you can change the interface, and you can actually make it the way you want it. to make
Gotcha.
it fit.
Okay, I'm
On
about to say.
PC,
I was
you
like,
have more.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I will lose my mind up here.
Yeah,
like,
on PC,
Is it
you can
like-
play it like an MMO, like a traditional MMO.
Yeah.
Is
no,
it like
yeah.
World of Warcraft? So many things
Yeah,
up on the
just
screen.
like
I
a
feel like it was like
was.
14
Okay.
boxes up there, and I'm like, how do I choose what to select out of these 14
Oh,
attacks?
I play on a controller, so it makes it easier for me.
Yeah, it plays like a traditional.
Yeah.
MMO.
Is this a
if you
free to
play
play
it on
or you got to pay for 14?
You have to pay for it, but there is also at certain times they actually have people who play it for free. Or
Oh.
like certain, so yeah, so
Oh,
I
okay.
think they should. I think at a certain time they actually had it for free because my subscription's out, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna hop on, and just do something real quick, and then all these different not expenses, not subjects. Hey, I'm sorry, buddy. He's getting fuzzy.
Sorry, little man.
I'll answer it later. Give me a second. Let me
Okay.
take care of it.
You're
So,
good.
For anybody else that's played it, like, is this introvert friendly?
Like
it
I don't
should
want to
be.
talk to anybody.
Yes.
I don't want to talk to.
It's the MMO, so yeah.
Okay.
You can do
Okay.
what you want.
All
You
right.
can just do your own thing. People are
You
going to be in the
create your-
world with
create
you.
your-
You can do your own thing.
Oh,
Create
yeah.
your Squeenix account and keep it moving.
I already got one of those. They got me a while back.
Okay.
Yes.
So games. Let me see. Oh yeah, this will be a fun one. Games for Impact.
Oh,
We got Closer the Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Senwa Saga, Hellblade 2,
mhm.
and Tales of Kanzara.
I've
What do
only
they
played
mean
like
by
Games
Impact?
for
of those.
Impact. What is
does
that?
that mean?
like-
What does that
What
mean?
does that mean?
All right, let's look it up.
like very
Okay,
like
here's
great
a description. Let's-
stories or something like that.
A pro-social meaning or message. Isn't that all video games? Like
That's all
Metroid
video
Dread had a pro-social meaning. Like,
Yeah.
what are we?
Is that even
What
a
are we talking
category?
about?
A thought-provoking game.
Is that even a category? What the heck?
Yeah, but it's-
Yeah,
That's
this
even
is
game.
for this is where they can sneak in some games for vendors and sponsors. You know, for
Sounds like
category.
it.
And to be fair, Life is Strange is a great franchise for
Yeah.
for the story. My wife loves watching me play that game. And
which one are you playing? I played the
Life is
one
Strange.
before this one. What's that one with
I
the
played
purple
the
cover? I
First
forgot. I played
one,
that one.
and then I played. Honestly, I played the other game. What's it? Oxenfree is pretty good too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Oxenfree is really good.
Yeah, and I played Tales of Kenzera's out. Like that's a Metroidvania, and it's really good.
Oh
Stop
boy.
asking questions.
I
mean, it's,
Wow, this is what we doing?
half of these games are made up.
He's like, get through it.
Because I was listening to the titles, I'm like, okay, I think
It's
I
just
heard
the
one or
thing is
two.
we're asking questions because we don't know how to answer these.
Yeah, like,
because-
what does that
because
mean?
these cat-
Like,
because
Hey, teacher, what is that? What is this quiz going to be about?
Right.
yeah, it's like,
alright.
to be honest, like, don't really ask these questions because of the fact of like people don't really know like to put these games under certain right, buddy?
I mean,
people,
like you're saying, it's
buddy?
in old video games, but like I guess Hellblade has the whole mental health and that type of message. So like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But so
maybe
does
that
Celeste.
it's such a
Celeste too,
diluted.
yeah. So like, I don't know, man. Like, all right, yeah, I'm just gonna go with I don't know about this one.
He said, "Yup, yup." I'm gonna go with yup.
Whatever.
yeah.
I'll just pick my favorite. And
I'll
that's
just do
gonna be Tales of
Hellblade.
Kenzera.
Yeah, that's the
I'll
way
say
I was
Tales
like,
of Kenzera.
I'll do
that's what I used to do. Is I pick my favorite or something that actually makes sense to me.
And Tales
Okay.
of Kenzera just because it's a Metroidvania. It's great.
There you go. I'll do Hellblade because it somewhat matches what the category says, but I don't really
Right.
know what the category means. So.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I'm a fan of Life is Strange, but nah.
Yeah, Life is Strange series is good. Yeah.
I'm gonna skip over the next four because one's innovation and accessibility.
Oh Lord.
Which makes no
Um,
sense.
The
That
other
one-
one is
Skewed too. Accessibility, it gets skewed heavily.
yeah. That's why
It should be all Xbox games because they have
Yeah.
the
Thank
little
you.
thing.
To
Yeah,
be
it should
fair, only one of them is an Xbox game, and it's not even Xbox.
That's
It's
that's
Activision
messed up.
Blizzard.
If it release on the Xbox though, it works with the controller. So like,
Right.
They got it.
We're gonna skip over best performance solely because there's a Star Wars Outlaw one in here, and it's the
I'm about to
It's
say,
the-
if
it's
you're
the
dropping
main
frames, you're not
character.
the best performance. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the main character, and she looks nothing like her. Anyway, so we have
best performance without Jennifer Hill. I just don't. What are we doing? Like, just skip.
yeah, we got best audio design, and then best score and music. Meh. So we'll get to best art direction because we're getting to the last four.
Okay.
This is where it gets serious.
I would say Hellblade, but yeah.
Best art direction: Astrobot,
Mhm.
Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring: Shadow of Erdtree, Metaphor, Rafantazo, or Neva. Out of all of these, there's only one that's not in the game of the year, so it's gonna be close.
I'm a fan of Greece, so
Mm.
Neva is really up there. But then Metaphor is for reasons of gameplay and outside of gameplay. That's a really different looking game.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful.
I don't. It's gonna be tough for me to pick between those two. And Elden Ring is just.
and this is art direction, right?
Yeah, art direction.
If you tell me art direction, immediately I'm eliminating Black Myth and Elden Ring.
Yeah,
immediately.
100%.
Yeah,
because they're very very monochromatic. They're not like they don't.
Yeah.
have that,
They're chasing
to me,
the
they don't
browns and
stand out.
grays.
Yeah, it's very mundane.
But by that definition, for outstanding creative and or technical achievement and artistic design and animation.
But look what RJ said. Look what RJ8 said. Unicorn Overload and Zelda, they should be in this. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Unicorn
Yes, they
Overlord,
should.
100% should be.
Yeah.
Yes, they should.
Agreed.
All right.
So me, I'm going to Mesa. I'm going to Mesa. Screw this.
Okay. And we're talking about art, and when I'm thinking about art and how you do things a little bit different, I'm going with Neva.
Neva's in this category.
Neva is probably, to me, the most unique one.
Yeah.
The whole game is art. Like the whole. Yeah. That's
I'm
the whole point.
gonna agree. I'm gonna go with Neva because Metaphor to me, like just on the menus and like the UI and stuff, is just incredible. But the actual game itself, I think Neva has the advantage in the game overall, but everything else, Metaphor, I think, because that's their like specialty, Atlas.
Yeah.
just making
So-
those,
Mario and
those
Luigi Brothership,
menus.
that art style.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
I love it.
So I'm a realistically.
Switch 2 game, but you know what?
No, but I agree. I agree
is-
with RJ. Then what's it called? Unicorn Overlord should really be in. Here.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a
Again,
realistically.
This should be nominated for a lot of categories.
I'm gonna realistically tell you that we've got 3 categories left outside of those 3 categories, and then we have Game of the Year, right? But realistically, if we've already picked Astrobot to win a game, and we have technically picked Black Myth to win a game,
Yeah, I don't think it.
the only 2 games that we have not picked yet, and if we picked Metaphor, then Elden Ring is going to be the one that ends up winning that.
Game of the year or narrative?
That's art direction.
Yeah, I think Neva should win this.
And it's only under one other thing. So it's either going to be Elden Ring or Neva.
I think Neva, because
I
honestly, I think
Neva
Elden
is
Ring
good.
has a chance to win, but
Yeah.
I think Neva is gonna take this. I think it's too unique, and it's there really has no other chance to win anything else. I think this is the game.
If I had to pick between the 2, it's going to be Neva because guess what? Neva is a standalone game.
It is.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Please.
Standalone game, not an extension of an existing game.
I can't play the other one without another game.
Right.
Color space, literally watercolor to life. Like I don't know what else
It's
to tell you.
beautiful. And
Versus-
shout out to Grease as well. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that game is gorgeous.
Legit, the whole game is artwork. So
You can literally, I tell people, you can literally take a screenshot anywhere in that game and go get it printed, and you can put it on your wall, and it'd be totally fine.
and you don't know what platform you played it on.
It's beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. I think the same thing with this one. So
Okay, so we're all
I think Neva for that.
Yeah,
Neva. Okay.
Neva for sure.
Oh, before we move forward, Sandstorm, because I know I'll forget this question if I don't ask it now. So,
Yeah.
Shadow, you just made a comment about brothership. Do you think that's why it runs the way it does because it's kind of prepared or it's kind of set up for the successor?
It may be because they're rushing it.
Yeah.
So it's a Switch release, but it's obviously the priority is for another platform.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, and we saw the early videos of it, the early reveals for
With the
that and
different
a couple
buttons.
other games. It had different button inputs. It had different text. Like, it was for another platform originally.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So we're on best narrative.
Switch 2 confirmed.
It's gonna be revealed after Game of the Year this year.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be nuts because everything else wouldn't matter. At this
Right.
He'll be like, we don't care about the awards.
Steal the show.
All right,
Best
so
narrative.
we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I can tell you, yeah.
I have no dog in this fight. I have no clue.
Final best narrative.
Okay.
So we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Mhm.
Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Refantasio, Senwa Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2.
Okay, just off the strength of what it does, Hellblade 2 better win this one.
It's
Your whole thing is centered
Hellblade
around
1.
that.
I'm gonna tell you realistically, if Final Fantasy Rebirth doesn't win this next category, then it's going to win this category.
Yeah, I agree.
Because my thing is this, like I get it, people love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but if my whole art direction or game direction is centered around a narrative and I don't win, that's wild.
But it's weird too, though, right? So like,
I feel like the story in 1 though is better than 2.
I agree because
that
when
makes sense.
Sandstorm told me that crap and I went and I played it on Game Pass, I was like, oof, yeah. But
I know what you're
we
saying.
talking
I know what you're
about
saying.
we talking about Hellblade, right?
Yeah.
Hellblade.
Yeah, Hellblade 1 is it's up through there. For sure.
100%. But when it's the only thing that is centered around, that's what it is. Put on your headphones. Experience the narrative.
It's awesome.
Sound and the narrative. Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, that Hellblade should win for sound. I think sound is.
That
It
too.
should-
Yeah, it was
every
under
category
sound,
on
too.
sound. it should
Yeah,
win.
that should.
And
That's
voice
a
acting,
lock, I
too.
think.
We'll see.
I don't know.
But Silent Hill, like, why is Silent Hill 2 here?
I don't know.
I'm still trying to figure. I'm trying to figure out why Silent Hill's in any of these categories.
Any of these.
What
If
was-
there's
What
a
was-
horror category,
Sandstorm,
Why
what
not?
was the next category that you were talking about? Just so I
Best
can-
game direction.
Oh, okay.
So it's so Final Fantasy is in both of these, so it has to win
I know
one
I
of
win
them
one.
to be a title
It's
contender
gonna go-
for Game of the Year.
who's
Yes.
the nominees for direction?
Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Wukong. Well, the Game of the Year, all the Game of the Year contenders.
All the same.
How is Zelda not in this category either?
Exactly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
either.
I'm going with Final Fantasy, and the only reason why I say Final
Yeah.
Fantasy is if I'm going to talk about like direction. To me
can't win
personally,
direction.
I gotta have something previously to look at. So
Yeah.
like when we look at like, okay, what was your direction? Like, what were you going for? Most games hit what they're looking for as far as the direction.
Mhm.
And seven basically kind of did that.
Exactly. Like
It did that because it basically brought back the original. If you played the original one, it basically just gave us what we wanted, just remade, like revised, and everything else, still with the same story with some extra pieces that we didn't expect.
there you go.
But here's the problem. I will read you the description of best game direction.
I don't even want to hear it. If it sounds ridiculously stupid, I think the person who wrote this stuff needs to be shut.
Oh, we already said they should be fine.
Whatever you're gonna read is gonna describe
Garbage.
Zelda.
It's garbage. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying. I'm saying
And
garbage.
Unicorn Overlord also.
Yeah,
Again.
I'm saying garbage as into the person who actually wrote this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the game. When I say garbage.
is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I will say this before anybody says anything. If you are explaining something, the rule is you cannot use that word to explain what you're trying to explain.
I think they did AI for this. That's what I think.
Creative vision and innovation.
So what is role playing games? Well, it is a game that you have
You play with different roles.
Like, come on, dude. This is elementary definitions you doing right now. Like, you're not even trying.
To keep it a buck here, but Balatro should win this, honestly.
Yeah. Out of all of these,
They took the most simplistic thing you could think of and kind of they engaged you in a way that you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I feel like with anything art direction wise, it has to have a basis like that we can know. Because I don't know what the director's idea, like what he was trying to strive for. But ultimately, when you look at Final Fantasy, we know what Final Fantasy 7 is. Like you said, Balatro, we know what card games are, and they put a whole different spin and a different art direction on it. So I don't know, man.
Like I don't see Black Myth or Elden Ring even in this category on that.
At all.
Elden Ring is literally an extension, and Black Myth is an elaboration on another type of same genre.
On the same
it didn't change anything. It just pretty much retold the same story, did it not?
Yeah.
Or Journey to the West.
It's like loosely, but yeah, basically.
And Astrobot is a Kirby game, so. I mean, just keep it in a buck. Like, I mean, it's a Kirby game.
No, it's
Kirby in
I don't know.
Kirby in the.
Me too. Like, I'm not going with that. Like that's.
Okay, so we're down to our last category, which is obviously the biggest one, Game of the Year, which is the same as all the previous same ones: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy 7, and Metaphor.
We already know who's winning is Elden Ring.
Yeah,
but who will we pick though?
Yeah, I don't care. I think like again, if we're doing FanDuel, definitely Elden Ring. I think, but for our personal thing,
if we're doing FanDuel, the fact that they had to
Change
minute throw out what they did Elden Ring clearly.
Yeah, they put they made the circle and the square peg for this one.
There you go. What were the nominees again?
It is Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy 7, and Metaphor Refantasio.
Okay, then for me, I'm my game of the year is Astro.
Okay.
If you ask me as a gamer, I would say it would be a tie between ReFantazio and Astrobot.
Yeah, because like Black Wukong was cool, but
Mhm.
once again, it's been done. Like it didn't do anything different for me.
Yeah.
Electro is an interesting concept, so it would be my runner-up.
Yeah, there you
between
go.
the two, between the three.
Okay. I mean, for me, I agree with you guys. It's between Metaphor and Astrobot for me.
Mhm.
I think I'd go Metaphor personally. Between the two, I mean, it was so refreshing to actually play a tight 3D platformer on a Sony device again. That was great, but I think Metaphor just overall like story, the character development, like I feel just as an overall game, it was just like a better game overall. I mean, but not to take anything away from Astro, but what?
The Xenoblade 3 character menu, you gotta love it, man.
I know.
Yeah,
Don't even talk to me, man. Xenoblade had it wasn't even nominated some years. That's what just gets me so mad.
No. Like Torna was a whole game, so there was no excuse.
Oh no,
like,
yeah, but that wasn't even
game.
nominated, let alone in the game of the year.
Yeah, they didn't even nominate. Like,
I know, it's like...
So
the fence was in, man.
I'm probably the odd man out. I'm gonna go with Black Myth, but realistically, that was the only game that I out of this whole group that I really picked up because I hadn't picked up Elden Ring already. So Juice lives and dies by that game too. So I can imagine that the DLC was actually really good. But
if it wasn't for the super jump in Elden Ring, then I would really love that game, but it's easily broken. So I
wanted to ask you guys too. I know that not Elden Ring, Black Myth won the like ultimate game of the year at the Golden Joystick. You know, like the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes, like sometimes like correlate. Do you think? I don't think this really correlates, but it's just something to throw out there. You know?
Yes,
like, it technically win.
Because if and we had this conversation before on the Joe podcast last week, Robert was so adamant that like before the nominees came out that Black Myth was not going to be in the game of the year, and I'm like, I'm telling you, bro, it's going to be in the game of the year solely off of how many people bought that game.
But you know why? But you know why though? They base it off the quote unquote wokeness. They don't. They deem that it's not going to be there. So
and he's like, it's an 80. Like this, it's one of the lowest rated games when.
But it moved units.
And that's what I said. I was like, the fact, and it's a Chinese game, and on top of that, so like having that market in there, it was going to happen. And like, no, bro. So yeah, realistically, I think.
It could totally win. I'm not. I mean, like I said, it's won a Golden Joystick, so it could technically win. I
think it's a factor. I think you're right. I think it's a factor into reasons why it's in there. If it was sheer off of sheer numbers of ratings, then it would have no business being in there.
Honestly, this is probably normally. Other than the fact that they had to go ahead and do the last minute whatever, we know what their favorite is, right? So it's going to be the DLC, right? But never have I seen 6 games be nominated, and I'm like, really, any one of these really could be game of the year. I'm looking at them now, and I'm like, every last one of them has a shot for completely different reasons. All 6 of them do.
Yeah.
So depending on whichever one they pick, I kind of won't be mad. Other than Elden Ring, I kind of won't be mad. And the only reason why Elden Ring is because they had to make an excuse for it.
Yeah. Right. But I feel like
I was gonna say, why are you gonna make so many consolations just to get it in the category if it's not gonna win?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird to me,
That I feel like is like the no hate, but I feel like Elden Ring is like the Trump of all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I'm just gonna get a double. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm coming back. I won last year. I'm gonna win again this year. Like why?
No. I'm like Shadow was saying. I could see a case for them winning, but it's just like why even put it in this category if there's no chance? Like in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I'm running through all of these though. I'm gonna finish Astrobot. And
you're gonna love Astrobot, Shadow. It's so good.
Yeah,
it really is.
Now that they have those time trials too, it was pretty dope. So
Yeah, it really needs another game. It deserves another game after this one.
I'm a platformer fan, and I like the original software that came with the PS5. So
yeah, the fact that they dropped two games this generation, technically.
Yeah. Technically, they did,
yeah. And you know what it is too, Shadow, and this
one
is
for
the thing
free.
I was saying before when we were talking about the game. It's just the thing that I like to me, like what makes Nintendo platformers different from other platformers is how tight the controls are.
Yes.
And I've never really felt that like as much with a Sony game as I have with this one. They really nailed it. I think that's why you're gonna like it, because like to me, I compare this to like Sony's Odyssey. Like that's how tight the controls were for me.
And it's so hard to do that in 3D. It's already hard to do it in 2D, but to do it in 3D is just insane. So
and like
any
Jack
game
was
that
saying
gets
too,
that right.
Yeah, and like Jack was saying, like with the controller too, it made, I don't know why, but it made the controls feel tighter because of the responsiveness and the immersion of the controller. I think that really helped, like on Sony's side, to make it feel tighter even than it was. So I think, you know, really good job by that team.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. But this also too, even if it doesn't win Game of the Year, which I don't think it will.
It might not, but
it has every right to.
It does. But my thing is, with it being here, Sony, that means people are paying attention. This is what they want. Like anything else. Did Spider-Man 2 not come out this year?
No.
Or did it come out last year?
No, it came out this. Was it?
I thought it was last year.
No, last year.
It was meant to come out last year. I thought.
Yeah, because it came out the same time as Mario.
Yeah, and that was weird because everybody thought that Spider-Man 2 was gonna get like that beefy DLC.
Yeah,
and they just abandoned it. So that was, I think Sony was a little, you know, that was like for I guess the public, like, oh yeah, I thought we were gonna see the Spider-Man 2, you know, here, the big DLC, but
keeping it book, I was late, but that was Game of the Year right there.
That was too. Yeah. Wonder was like people looked at it from afar and didn't play it, and that was you. But that game was there were some levels on that game that was ridiculous. And so it challenged you, and that's what I loved about that game.
If
but
you
also
want 100% that game, you're there.
So now with these awards, right? If you don't, I know there's like a time limit. If you don't make the cutoff, are you eligible for the following year?
You are, but almost no game ever gets talked about.
You're forgotten like Xenoblade.
You're forgotten, yeah. Okay.
Because Xenoblade factor. That's it.
It gets because it comes out too early. It's almost like you don't want to come out too early unless you just don't care about it.
I think the only game that I can ever recall still making that list, and not Game of the Year list, but a list period, was Smash. I think that's the only one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because Smash didn't it come out in December that year?
Yeah, it came out in December. It came out right after. It was like the awards was like the 8th, and the game came out maybe the 9th or the 10th.
And they still didn't give it Game of the Year.
And
they gave it something else.
It was in Best Fighter category, but that was no. It was in the family. It was in the family one. and I remember that year we were like, why is it not? At least pretend like it's a fighter, you know what I'm saying? And it was it was in the family game.
Oh, sir.
Speaking of which, there's a distinct lack of Tekken 8 here, and I don't know if that's the thing.
Yeah, listen, I voted for that for my fighting game of the year. Personally, but
Mob threw that in for fighting game. It's not in here for anything else except for that.
Wild.
But that is I mean, I feel like this should.
That game
really
slept on
Sony though, because this wasn't a big story-based game. This was all about tight controls, great graphics, great gameplay. You know, this was a video game. If you want to talk about what a video game is, this was a video game. So if it got nominated for Game of the Year, if you do not continue to push this type of game, you're stupid. Like like Sony, like I don't care what it sold. People loved it and they paid attention to it. It's just I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but yeah, I don't have an issue with anything winning this year outside of Elden Ring, because I feel like that's a cheat. Like they entered that cheat code right before they did the nominees.
Yeah,
I just feel like Echoes of Wisdom should be nominated for something.
Yeah, it's got spots. It should.
Yeah, it's
win
got
something.
some, but It was great. It was good. It was a really good game for me. Like I was telling you guys before, like my 3 most anticipated games came out in the same month. There was Echoes of Wisdom, Astrobot, and Plucky Squire. They all came out in the same month.
Yep.
It was incredible though. Every game, I liked all 3 of them. They were all exactly what I wanted, and they like totally delivered. So
yeah,
really good.
Like I said, Plucky only got not because of that technicality, which I'm pretty sure is not for everybody. But you know, I got that random bug, and
I get it. I get it. That broke your immersion.
It wasn't on every platform though, was it?
I think it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
I don't know about it. Yeah, Xbox too. I think right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was on everything. PC too. That's why I played on Steam Deck. So
it was on PSN too. Like you could play it on PlayStation Network if you had.
Still, I know. Just Jack, I'm just telling you though, they have released a couple more patches for it, so I would definitely like go back to it if you can and just finish it because the game is really good. It's not long. It's only like 9 hours. It's not long, but
yeah, because I mean, like for me, I put it in the same category. Like when I was playing it, it made me feel like I was playing Tiny Ken. For anybody that's played that, like Tiny Ken was an amazing platform game, but I love the comic book style. Like my whole family just kind of stopped and watched. Was like, hold on, what are you playing? Like you watching something or are you playing something? I'm like, this is a game. Like,
and you know the thing again. Sorry, I don't want to get sidetracked with Plucky Squire, but Plucky Squire, the thing I liked about it the most was the gameplay variety and how they mixed it so seamlessly, and it didn't feel disjointed. It felt like it was kind of flowing with the story, which I think was a really for an indie game, especially. They really did a great job.
I agree.
All right, so I don't know if you guys want to go over it. If you guys got time for the other topic, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm with it.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
I was gonna say, Shadow.
I got here late, so
yeah. We actually started with the nominees, so we didn't even get to the second topic, which is the Switch is an underpowered piece of crap, and Nintendo deserves to give us better.
Man, pull up my tweet and pull up the video. That's all I can tell you. Like y'all remember a long time ago? Remember when everybody was talking about the Tegra K1 and they was doing videos showing Gears of War running on it, and then they showed the Tegra X1 and they showed the trailer running for that. Then all of a sudden, when the Tegra X1 got associated with Nintendo, all that enthusiasm went out of the window. Nobody wanted to care about any of the trailers or what the Tegra processor could do or any of the demos. There were no more demos released from Unreal Engine talking about what the Tegra processors could do, even when it was beyond the Tegra X1. Now all of a sudden, Tegra anything, we're not showing any demos for it anymore.
Yeah, it was the same thing with NVIDIA Shield. Like people were
JB trolling in the chat.
Risky's gonna show up eventually, but yeah, like whenever before we found out about the Switch, the NVIDIA Shield, everybody was clamoring for that thing, and it had, and it was like, then when we was like, oh, the Switch has the same thing in it, but they just kind of down clocked it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for battery.
Right. And I was like, but you have to understand, like, that was the thing. They want you to play for a longer time span. This is something different. Now, when Steam showed up, it was okay. But it's like, like you have to understand what we're asking for. It was the same thing I tell people all the time. If I build a desktop PC and my laptop has the same parts, my laptop's going to be more expensive. It's about form factor. Like, it's in a smaller component. Like, you can't do these stupid comparisons. Especially when we talk about, like, for example, with the ROG Ally, I can go and change the wattage whenever I want to. I can't do that with my Switch. It's stuck at the same wattage every time. I can't
and Nintendo intentionally downclocked everything so you will have performance over time. Like, my battery just started losing capacity like a couple of days ago. And this is my launch 2017 March 3rd Switch.
That's wild.
I want to say a week ago, I got 2 hours of battery life out of that thing. And now, it just now started to degrade.
That's crazy.
7+ years worth of battery life. And it was my main driver every day. I got 4 Switches in the house. That's the one I decided to keep and play every day.
Wow.
That's what's up.
So I don't know what else to tell you other than that it's an amazing product that from out of the box in 2017 with a giant Zelda box or whatever that I got with it or whatever. It still worked until today.
That's
so.
Wild. Yeah, and then I also would encourage. I know Shadow's done like a million videos, rants, or whatever about the amount of performance they get on the battery like output compared to like running on a PlayStation. I mean, that to me is the trump card right there.
Performance per watt, man. Performance per watt. Like,
it's
what
wild.
game can you play at less than 20 watts that the PlayStation can't boot at?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like,
it's so weird.
The PlayStation is not booting at less than 50 watts.
Yeah.
And
you're playing
the Switch is playing Doom
for like 2 hours.
Right.
Doom 2016 is playing on your like, and you hitting the home button, going to pick up another game, and going back and playing another game under 20 watts.
It's wild.
Yep. Like, make it make sense. Why are we doing these comparisons? And if we're gonna make those comparisons, keep them even.
Right.
Like, we're making all these. I will say this, right? Imagine if you could take a PS4, right? Make the CPU better, make the GPU weaker, make the RAM faster. That's a Switch. That's it.
That's
true.
That's it.
Pretty much.
That's it. Core for core, RAM chip for RAM chip, like block for block. Switch is faster. The GPU is obviously faster on the PS4 because it's overclocked the hell and back and uses a lot of wattage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Switch is not. But it doesn't need to, because at a fraction of the wattage, it does similar things. So who cares? And if the screen that's held next to it is a quarter of the resolution, 720p, like, why do you need, you know what I mean? Why do you need 200 watts if you're not drawing 1080p?
Right.
Here's my whole thing too, and I know this is going to tie into the successor eventually. You know, I think a lot of gamers need to really understand like what it is that they're looking for. Like, I get it. You know, most gamers want the best looking game, the best running game, like, because you're paying, you know, $70 for this game and you're paying upwards to $400 to $500 for a console. Like, you think you got the top notch product, but it comes at a cost sometimes. And with that cost, we've kind of lost what video games are. I've seen more people argue with me about seeing things that look like real life than to see things that are video games. It was the same conversation I was having with kids. I said, you know, it was a time to where I had to sit down and wait for my favorite cartoon to come on. Now that you can go and find whatever cartoon you want, any episode you want, you don't appreciate it as much. So now we're at a point to where you've seen the story-based games, you've seen those high graphic games, and now you're just like, I want more. This ain't enough. Because just not too long ago, PS5 was the best thing smoking. You love this frame rates. You're doing those comparisons with Digital Foundry, but then it's like, oh, the pros here. Now it's better. Like, you were just saying it was fine. Did you?
Right.
Like,
it's not fine enough.
My thing is, I understand some argument in the sense of like, if there is something better, why wouldn't I get it? Right. But for me, it's got to be substantially better for me to even make that jump, for it to even make sense. Because in all seriousness, for me, the reason why I would never get a pro is because you're now asking me to pay more for something you promised me already.
So with that in retrospect, right? You're supposed to get two 1080p simultaneous streams with the PS3.
Correct.
That was promised. It had two fucking HDMI ports on the back of that console originally. You were supposed to get two simultaneous 1080p streams out of that machine. How did that work out? They started saying you're going to get 1080p games. You got maybe 7 out the whole generation. How'd that work out? Then they moved on to say, hey, look, well, you could upscale these games and maybe they'll be 3D. Buy a 3D TV. Also buy active lenses for these. Like, all these things happen. Like, these were all the gimmicks. Everybody says Nintendo runs gimmicks, right? But these same people sold you gimmicks on graphics and you didn't call them gimmicks. But you ran out and bought TVs and you bought glasses to try to fit these things. You bought a TV to say, hey, I need HDR. That was the next thing they moved on to, right? I've done multiple podcasts about this, right? So you bought an HDR ready TV or whatever, right? Like I'm like HDR, like this is color space. Like how is the game being managed? Is the color space being managed while they're creating the game? Is it being displayed to you that way? Like all kind of different things happen, right?
Right.
It turns out turned out to being, hey, look, there's a whole bunch of light bloom in this game, and I'm like, light bloom is on the Wii. I can play Twilight Princess and get light bloom. What are we doing? Like,
Yeah,
that's a 480p console. What are we doing? Like, and they move on and on and on to different things. Then you go to these other consoles, quote unquote, 8th generation. Not
the generation. We don't even know what they are anymore.
1080p, right? And I'm like, but Wii U does 1080p depending on the game. Well, all the games will be 1080p on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And I'm like, you sure? You sure?
That definitely.
Near Automata is 900p like a mug on PlayStation 4. But on my Switch,
that's definitely wasn't true.
On my Switch is 1080p. On my Switch is 1080p.
11 watts.
I don't like make it make sense. And so when these things happen, right? These are outliers, and people get mad. They don't understand it. They don't comprehend it. And I'm like, any console was already capable of 1080p going back to the 360. It just depends on what the developers wanted to do. There was 10 megs of eDRAM on the 360. You could have done 1080p then. When the Wii U came out with 32 megs of eDRAM, almost 3 times the amount, well, over 3 times the amount, you could have done 1080p then too. Like Smash 4 was 1080p.
1080p 60. It was like fluid.
Yeah. Like if you wanted to do it, you could do it. It just depends on the game and the engine that you wanted to do, right? So,
and the optimization by the devs,
Yeah, and knowing what the CPU does, and oh my god, thinking that you need to do SimD on a GPU and past 2012 is mind blowing to me. But for whatever reason, they were still thinking that the Wii U needed to be a 360. But magically, when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, they're like, "Oh yeah, we do heavy SimD on the GPU now." And I'm like, "You could have done that on the Wii U."
Right.
So it's just one of those things where like they just gradually had to be forced to learn because the CPUs in those two systems weren't as strong, just like they weren't in the Wii U. Like they were GPU heavy and they weren't CPU heavy. So they were forced to learn. And I'm like, yeah, you could have learned when the Wii U came out. That was the way things were going. So and now here we sit with 2 other platforms. They just doubled the core count. Still doing the same thing. Is Zen 2 now instead of whatever the original Jaguar cores were and whatnot. There's still tablet variant CPUs. I still say tablet, and you ask me why, I say it's the cache count. How much L2 and L3 cache are in those cores? And when you can't tell me it's at least 32 megs, then I tell you to kick rocks. It's not a desktop, and it's not a workstation class CPU. It is not. And we just move on from there. And you talk about the GPU, throw whatever you want in the GPU, but they are laptop variant GPUs as well. They're very, very high performant laptop GPUs, but they are. Even the PS4, even the PS5 Pro. There's a laptop variant of that GPU that exists today. You can throw that in a laptop today. It already exists. So
there you go.
What do you could build that system for around $700, maybe $800 yourself. The PS5 Pro that just came out, you can build that for about $700, $800 yourself.
Yeah, I feel like the people saying that the Switch is like underpowered or whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like the thing is too though, but they've ran games like on limited hardware and people are playing them. People are buying them. People are still experiencing them.
Here it is, right there.
There's
the point. Yes, there's the point.
Witcher 3, bro, it exists. Like
Witcher 3, No Man's Sky runs on Switch.
I don't know how you come up with
Doom 2016, Doom Eternal runs.
I don't know how you come up with a whole conversation about how the Switch is crap and it's underpowered and all this other stuff, and yet the sales numbers are off the chart. You're the only one. You're the only one on the side.
In the end of the day, isn't that what Nintendo, and these companies they need the support to continue. They need, and the thing is I feel like, and then we can also have the conversation, is Switch really even a true competitor to PlayStation 5 and Xbox? Is it really a competitor to them? I don't know.
I'll just say this. is the PlayStation 5 really a competitor to Nintendo Switch?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it doing what the Switch can do at the same wattage?
There you go.
Not even close.
Because my
So that's
thing,
what I'm saying, like,
yeah, because I mean, when we talk about, you know, comparison, like, I'm gonna always say, okay, I'm looking at PlayStation 4 to 5, and then of course the Xbox One to the Series, and then we can't even do Wii U to Switch because those are totally different beasts.
Different architecture.
So, like I said, like VG was saying, like, you can't do those comparisons because all form factor alone, the Switch is doing something the PlayStation and Xbox cannot do.
Right.
Like, even with that PlayStation Portal, is still not doing the same thing.
It's
So
not doing what the Wii U do.
it's not even doing that. So when we talk about, is it too Wii? Is it time for it to do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah? I put that in the same category as why do Xbox and PlayStation continue to tout that every game is going to have this or every game's going to have that? You're not involved in every game. If I'm X developer and I don't know how to optimize my games properly, I just made you look stupid. Because really, let's be honest, as like some consumers, they pick and choose where they want to have their battles. But if I look at the entirety of the Switch catalog, which what is close to 1 billion at this point as far as software is concerned, I say 5 games run poorly, I'm not screaming to the hilltops, we need a successor right now. I'm just not. Like I'm not even remotely close, even yelling that, because those percentages are minuscule.
There's not one game that I've purchased that does not work when I undock it. So I believe that the gimmick for the Switch worked. I think it advertised what it needed to do.
Right, because Nintendo never came to you and said every game's running 60, every game's running at 1080p or what. They said
that box behind me says 8K. That box behind me
surely does.
It says 8K.
It surely does.
It says 8K and 4K, 120 frames per second.
It's amazing how magically that did not show up on the Pro Box.
Right. So that's my whole point. It's like, on one hand, they're saying, hey, look, because of how we made this, it's going to work. And like Shadow just said, there's not a single game that I can't undock outside of Labo, but those are like one-off situations. So like, there's no single game I can't undock and play in handheld. But then on the PlayStation and Xbox side, there are games that do not give me the 4K you promised me. There are 1, maybe 2, if you really want to talk about upscaling, that give me 8K, but I'm not really getting 8K like that. I'm not getting 120.
And you're not getting 8K every frame either. So
that's my thing. One
you're not even getting 60 frames.
No, not for real. And that's the thing. Like, don't tell me something that you can't control. You can't control that. So at the end of the day, do we need a successor right now? Me, really, no. The only reason why I'm looking for one and why I think it will be like top dog is because I'm really holding out, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm holding out for a dual screen. I'm holding out for them to go back to that Wii U concept.
I'm telling you, we've already discussed how it's happening. They're gonna marry those two, the original Switch with the Switch 2.
That would be lovely.
And like, you got a Switch. You got a Switch already? Because there's 152 or 146 million
Switch
out there. So I'm sure you got one. Guess what?
You know what though?
The Switch 2. The Switch can work with that too.
You know what? You know what's so freaking cool about the Switch that I think I've said this on a podcast or two before that I feel like nobody mentions is that the Switch is a modular system.
Yes, it is.
So if they want to add things, they can add things.
They really good.
Well, they're already.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
screens. Was it Mario Party? You can link the screens together or something. Some crazy.
To make
it. I feel that's why Switch was such a brilliant idea by Nintendo, because a lot of people say, and I know a lot of people say this with Nintendo, they like, they like to do these weird, wacky gimmicks. They don't just keep it, just to gaming. Well, this is by the Switch being a modular system. They can do that. They can do add-ons. They can do all these things to get those innovative, kind of creative outlets that they have or ideas. They can do that and not interfere with the core gaming system of the Switch, but still add on and, innovate and do creative ideas. So I think that's why another reason Switch is so good for Nintendo, because it fits like the way that they work. And the thing that makes Nintendo is their innovation, creativity, and their willingness to take risks, which they couldn't really do before the Switch because it was just just a console. You know what I mean? Like now they can add on to it and do things and still have that outlet, but keep the core, hybrid, system that's so successful, keep that the same.
And
I think that's really awesome.
You know what really sucks? Well, it doesn't suck. It's actually very, very smart business move for Nintendo. And it really sucks for the competition is that because Microsoft and Sony have kept trying to push that graphical envelope, we've reached that law of diminishing returns now. Everybody's stuck there. Like there's getting past this point now is either going to take a mad amount of money that you aren't going to get back, or it's going to take a whole grand push that not everybody's willing to take. And you have Nintendo who's back here who still has time to continue to innovate and innovate and innovate and innovate, and you're still stuck here. You can't move, and they can still innovate. It's like playing a game of life, right? The person who gets to the ending first, they may get the 200,000 up front. But they have to wait for the person behind who can still get those, who can still collect and collect and collect before
they still got one alibi though, right? Third parties and Sony and Microsoft still have an ace in the hole, and that's the mouthpiece of the media.
True.
So what they can do is they can tell Digital Foundry, hey, we're moving to talk about AI upscaling now because we noticed that, hey, rasterization ain't going to get us there. And we'll never get to the point of ray tracing being the new image creation process because that's going to take another 10, 15 years before we're fully ray tracing anything. So we're gonna need you to lie for like the next 5 to 6 years and say that, hey, we're just gonna do this AI upscaling because we really can't draw these 4K frames like that. So can you do that for us, please? And that's gonna be the next thing. So now what you're gonna see now is you're gonna see all of a sudden Digital Foundry and IGN and GameSpot and all these different outlets, they're gonna start talking about AI upscaling and how important that is. The only problem is now they have to acknowledge Nintendo.
They have to,
because Nintendo is obviously going to be using that. That's the only reason why PS5 Pro is here right now. I'm saying that right now live. The PS5 Pro is here right now because they know Nintendo is launching and they know this coming with DLSS. They cannot be stuck with a system that's using half the amount of watts and having a better image per frame. They cannot be stuck with that. They're like, why is 200 watts coming out of my wall for $500 and this image right here is 11 watts and it's looking better? I'm just gonna keep a buck, but that's exactly what's gonna happen because even though the Switch will be drawing it'll be doing like 720p for a frame or whatever, and then upscaling to 1440p or whatever, but it'll look clean as hell. So to the average person, what that's going to look like is on an
8-inch, 8-inch screen or whatever, or 8.5.
Even on a 1080p screen, because the majority of people will have probably have 4K displays now, right? So if you upscale that to 4K with a little bit of AI upscaling or whatever, it's going to look clean. It's going to look a lot better than a lot of these third-party games that are still 1440p and a half on PS5.
Yeah, and your chip is with the native DLSS developers. So you know it's going to be good quality. It's not like they're not plugging it in. It's going to be straight from the source. So that's
which means that every game is going to look like that. And so what do you do when these developers aren't even trying on Switch and it's still looking better than whatever FSR that you're doing? And you're doing more work, you're drawing more pixels and more frames and whatnot on that other platform. But because the upscaling is so much better over here, they're doing 720p 60, right? And upscaling it, and it still looks better than your 1440p drawn. It's going to be a problem, and they know it's coming, so they're like PS5 Pro, please.
And I don't care what anybody says. Them seeing those reports of them seeing the Matrix, Unreal running on this thing, they were all real. I don't care what anybody says. Those were real.
And that's scary, right? Because Nintendo had all the opportunity to show you, to give you a trailer Though now I see in retrospect that honestly didn't make sense, but they really could have been really petty and gave you a trailer before the PlayStation 5 came out, and that
They
narrative
could've.
went
You know the crazy
ugly.
thing about that
They killed
is that's not even Nintendo's game. That's not even what
It's
they
not.
want to do.
Mhm.
It would just be a consequence of them releasing the system because they partnered with Nvidia at a certain time, right?
Yeah.
So and they naturally gonna stay with them because they want to do like a 10-year partnership just like they did with IBM, right? Because they want to make money over time. They wanted to be cheap for them.
Exactly.
They caught Nvidia when they were in a bad time, so they bought all of their R&D for cheap. Because the Tegra wasn't selling to nobody at the time.
Exactly.
So
it was
they were
like,
like,
yeah,
hey,
it was like, you know, in the scraps yard. Pretty
here's
much.
a 10-year deal, and now Nvidia's in there, and they're making money off the Tegra now. So now all of a sudden they're the benefit of that because now you got DLSS 2 and 3 coming out. Like it could be a mix of both coming on this new platform, right? And just as a response, just as a effect of that, they have somehow lapped what Sony and Microsoft currently have right now from 2020 systems, and they don't know how to handle it. So they have to like, hey, let's throw hardware at the wall. That's what Sony's going to do. Microsoft is just like, we'll just make everything an Xbox, and you know, I don't know what else the response is going to be. And Nintendo's like, we're not even trying. This is just our new Switch here, and here we go. So if they wanted to, yeah, they could come out with the marketing and say, hey, better, faster, stronger, or whatever, like they did with Super Nintendo. But those days are long gone. Nintendo doesn't care about that anymore. They're like, they're trying to sell you games.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is
that's the crazy thing. That's what gamers want. They want games.
Because even when we talk about like the underpowered thing, that's now the thing of the past. Now we're going the AI route. So it's not a power war anymore because now I got something to supplement that for me.
Yep.
So like Shadow was saying, PSSR for the PlayStation, and then now Colt Eastwood is talking about Xbox is going to push heavy with this new FSR update with AMD. So I'm pretty
AMD
sure
is behind, man.
They're behind.
FSR ain't gonna do it because it's the pixels around the object. It's not even.
It's not gonna do it. So now we're looking at Nintendo coming in, and we were the underpowered and the catch up group. Now we got the top dog of AI, which is DLSS. And now it's like, okay, we can pull this off and not have to pay as much for hardware and give you what you want. And on top of that, we're not even going to mention that's what it is.
Right.
We're just going to say,
like I said, they're not trying.
They're not trying to mention it. Just we're going to say, hey, this Switch successor does this functionality, and here are the games you're going to play. And then they're going to leave it up to Digital Foundry, all the content creators, the people to break it down to say, oh, yeah, it's using DLSS 3.0 or 3.2 or what. That's what they're going to do because they never get into it.
So, well, you know, it's like again, to do a different kind of thing. You know how everybody says who's the GOAT in basketball? And everybody says that, you know, oh, well, LeBron says he's like, no, Scottie Pippen was like, we all know it's Jordan because Jordan didn't say it himself. Everybody else said it for him.
Yeah, everybody said it.
So that's what I'm saying. Nintendo's going to be the same thing. Like, yeah, we don't even have to say it. Everybody's just going to say it for us.
That's crazy because Scottie does not like Jordan, but he will tell you
he doesn't.
But he will tell you he's the best player in basketball.
He is.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Nintendo won't even have to say it, like you said. They're just going to allow the press to say it for them.
Yep,
pretty much.
So, but yeah, I mean, all in all, the games are going to speak for themselves. I'm more interested in seeing what this first run is going to be. Like, who are the front runners for this launch? Like, I already feel like Metroid Prime 4 is going to be there.
I feel like that's a shoe-in. Pokemon has already won too.
I think who's going to be the front runner though?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be EA. Honestly,
really?
What they're going to do? They've seen enough writing on the wall, and they've bled enough money to where they're like, we got to do it. So,
what game do they show up with?
Oh, it's gonna be Madden for sure.
I was gonna say it's gotta be Madden.
I was gonna say, give me a
portable. Can you imagine Madden on a portable console that you can play anywhere, and then you can get your experience points and build up your character. I mean, it's gonna be a gold mine if they can run it well.
I'm all for them showing up because there is no football game on the Switch.
Right.
Other than I don't even know if Maximum Football is there, but there's no football game other than the retro football game that
Right.
released,
Besides retro.
yeah. But
Retro Bowl.
I'm showing up with FC. I get it. Madden is still a franchise that people, but I'm showing up with FC
World football.
because because my thing is you gave just roster updates for so long on the Switch that you can then
And they
spin
still
that narrative,
sold.
and they still sold. Like, but you can spin that narrative and say, you know what? Here's the real game right here, and it plays just like our other counterparts. Because let the third-party developers tell the story of who plays what and how it plays.
I'll keep it up for my boy Brand Smith in the chat trolling Baron. But it's amazing though. Just think about it. More Madden games appeared for Wii U than for Switch.
Yep.
That is
Twice
true.
as many. Twice
Yeah.
as many.
True.
It was actually I don't know if any of you guys play Madden. I actually have Madden on Wii U. It was cool to have the second screen.
Yes, it was. Yep.
For that.
Plays
So it
on
had
the
to
screen,
pick all your
everything.
plays and stuff. Like it was
No
pretty
HUD
dope.
on the TV at all. Like you can just
That way
can
you
just play.
can't cheat. You can't see what somebody else is picking. They try to like find a way to work around that. But
Yeah, that
if
was
I can
dope.
see my plays right here on my screen, like, all right, cool, do your thing.
Yeah, it's like
Bam.
you had your playbook tablet.
There you
know?
go.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I
why
mean,
it was. That's
Battlefield
why it
would
was
be
such a miss that they didn't do that second screen because that would have
yeah,
been
that too.
that would
Brand-
have been perfect.
Yeah.
This
Dark
same
Horse
thing
got
I've
a
been
question
saying.
for
I would be
you.
shocked. I would be shocked if EA doesn't bring most of their IP to Switch to. I'd be
Yes,
shocked.
see.
I think that they crashed and burned with Switch because they feelings got hurt doing the whole we're going to
Wii
be
U,
origin
yeah.
for Wii U,
Mhm.
and they're like, well, we're going to make Nintendo pay, and Nintendo's like, no, you won't. So
You lost money, you idiots.
They were like, you do y'all want Crisis back? Because we still got
Like,
we still
Oh
got
my God.
Crisis.
I remember when Crisis used to be the
publish
barometer
your
for
indie games
graphics.
on Switch. Publish your indie games on Switch. We'll take a couple of those.
Right.
Oh, that's
Unravel,
right.
yeah,
It's-
put
oh, yeah,
Unravel
that's
on
another
there.
thing for Switch is a piece of junk. It runs Crisis, so take that.
I mean, you
Be
ran Crisis.
Can it run
Like,
Crisis? Can it run Crisis? That used to be the barometer.
Well, now
Like,
they
Crisis,
can.
Crisis
The junk
literally
console
sat
can.
unpublished on Wii U. Like this is it's never been the hardware. It's never
No.
been that.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
say
just
that
it's
to
just the
this day on
devs.
Twitter.
I think the thing too is with Nintendo with Switch is when they went to Nvidia, the Tegra, the devs were just so much more comfortable
There you
with
go.
that hardware that they were able to get more out of it. That was another genius move by Nintendo.
Again, I say when that Tegra demo came out and you saw the Firewalker Knight get out of there and it looked exactly like the high-end PC joint, right? Everybody was jumping out of their seat and clapping for that Tegra X1 demo. Then it got associated with Nintendo. All that enthusiasm magically went away. Nobody talked about it anymore. It was just gone. I'm like, that's the same system, right? Like it's still capable of all of that. Like they downclocked it a little bit, but also you could write to the metal. So everything they downclocked, you could still do at 1080p. So it's just really strange to me. Like
People are gonna be
video up.
surprised.
Here we go.
Oh, there we
console quality graphics.
Oh
available
yeah,
on
her
the
bragging about it, which is
company's
amazing
chief
to me.
Executive told audiences at a CES keynote the NVIDIA
Man.
Tegra X1 is going to be twice as powerful
There
as
we go.
2014's Tegra K1 and is built on the same architecture that is used in desktop GPUs. It features a 256-core GPU on top of an 8-core ARM-based central processing unit, making a teraflop of power. If those terms mean nothing to you, it basically means that literally any application that relies on Maxwell architecture will run on the Tegra X1 and is reliably powerful and efficient. NVIDIA said that because of this chip can bring PC-grade graphics to devices such as tablets, showing off the Unreal Engine 4 demo running on the X1. That's pretty impressive. This could be part of NVIDIA's plan to dominate the mobile games hardware market, with Qualcomm Snapdragon currently in the lead for Androids and Apple using their own A8 chips.
Now,
And that is interesting.
did a lot of peers ever make a video
Down
saying
memory
that the
lane.
Nintendo Switch was impressive?
No. I'll stand on that.
I don't know about that one.
I want people to prove me wrong on that one. Like,
That's a lot of
I'm
peers.
taking that.
That's a
I'm
lot of
taking
that.
peers
Well, I
being a
think-
Nintendo Switch fan.
Yeah,
Right
I
there.
think the cast just proved that Nintendo Switch is not a piece of junk, and it's not
Right.
that. And it really was honestly a marvel in engineering and architecture that
Yep.
really is changing gaming
Build it, baby.
again.
Mhm.
So
and that just it comes down to just being innovative at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But to also answer a question, well, not answer it, but to mention something that I talk about a lot too. Grant Smith mentioned bringing Battlefield. Now, I know Activision mentioned like, yeah, we'll start seeing Call of Duty on like Nintendo platforms for like the next 10 years or whatever. But
sign contracts, so it's definitely
right. Like at this point, I've said it before, that door has been wide open. Like there's no reason for us not to have a Call of Duty or a Battlefield. Like if EA could not compete with Call of Duty, in which they just couldn't, it just didn't size up. Come over to Switch, put Battlefield there, and you would have been by yourself. And
the world is open. We ain't got nothing besides what is that game? What was it?
Warframe?
No. The other one. It was like free to play.
I know what you're talking. I know the game.
Well, it was Warframe at first.
Yeah, it was. But,
was it?
Warframe was free to play originally.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't like an FPS combat one.
But yeah, it was something. It was something along war or something. But yeah, that's the only game that we had that was like a first person, like that type of game.
You know what that was though. They thought the effect of the industry like it was upon Wii U was going to be able to be repeated. But what they didn't count on was the power of social media. Right. So once Nintendo said, "Oh, this how you gonna do us?" No E3 anymore. We'll just go ahead and show the people first before you get to see it. And now you can't taint what we show people and give your biased impressions before everybody else gets to see it. They didn't count on that being a thing. So now the world got to see Switch before they got to say, "Oh, we think it's bad." No, too late now. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows what it is now. It's too late. You can't go back on that now. Somebody saw somebody in a parking lot playing NBA 2K. You can't go back on that. It's a wrap. So that's just one of the things. You in the airport playing Skyrim. Come on, man. There's no takebacks from that. You can't go back and say, well, it only works certain ways and it only doesn't. And Nintendo only makes Japanese games and they only make kiddie games. You can't do this anymore. Right. Nintendo already shows you it's not just the kiddie games, it's also for adults. Like we got the Karen in a pool in a roof party right here. So you can't say that like you can't say adults don't play it, you can't say women don't play it. You can't come on, man. We're here. We're here. They showed you the whole thing. This dude with a great day walking around all day, then he comes and sits down on his couch and plays the game.
Then the last thing, I know we've been long, but the last thing I'm going to say is that the other thing that's really encouraging for me about Switch 2 is the way that the momentum that Switch 1 is going into 2. Because if you guys have noticed in the past Nintendo consoles, they've always like fizzled out like a year before they went into the next system. This is we still got games coming going into 2.
And they still selling.
So important and so important. Nintendo has never had that momentum going into a console like that, like in a home console like this. So I really think they're going to crush it with 2, just because I think that's like something they've never even done before. So I think that's a huge advantage for them going into this one.
I want to be truthful now. I don't want to sound like a Nintendo fanboy. The hardware sales are declining year over year.
Oh yeah, of course.
Software sales though, once a software release is announced, that shit's selling though. So they're
like
still
in Japan,
selling software. It's the hardware that's like going down, but obviously the people that still have hardware are buying games, so they're making profit hand over fist. So why it looks quote unquote bad because they're not selling hardware year over year, like they're selling that hardware at a less of a loss than they're selling software. Yeah. So for every piece of software, it's like almost immediate profit. So I don't know, man. It just looks way too good to me, and I think they could do this probably for another 2-3 years for Switch to make profit off of it.
They're not going to sunset Switch 1 automatically. They're still going to make games for it. So
and that's the thing. I was going to say they kind of solidified themselves. I mean, it was one that we speculated from the beginning of time. But the fact that they had announced it, like it was it was fact at that point. The fact that whatever's coming next was going to be backwards compatible. So it was like
that's it.
It was automatic at that point.
That was a huge announcement for them to make, because then the people who are buying this holiday are not going to be hesitant because they're like, hey, even if I buy the system now for like cheaper and I get the game bundled and Nintendo Switch Online bundled or whatever they're doing, you know, it's okay because my second console, even if I get the 2 at launch, it's still going to play all these games, so I'm not afraid to buy it.
Right.
Poor modern vintage gamer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I told you. I tried to tell you.
Alone.
They own the hypervisor, bro. They can make anything backwards compatible. But okay.
Right. and I know I told you this, Shadow, especially I know on other podcasts, but like Nintendo, if you look back at what they've done, they've been like the most backwards compatible friendly company.
They have.
Yeah.
So like the fact that people are like, oh, they're not going to do it. I'm like, why not?
They broke Moore's law to make Wii U exist. Like it should not exist, bro. They took a Wii processor and made it multi-processor.
Yeah,
it should not exist. They did it.
That's crazy.
So I don't, you know, when you tell me that stuff can't run on this or that, or something ain't gonna be backwards compatible, I'm like, look at Wii U, bro. That should not exist. That CPU should not. They made that. They made that out of nothing. So.
Here we go.
Yeah,
if I can rate this friend, he'll just correct me on the 32X video. That's fine.
Okay.
I want all his 32X games, so he can come at me. Shadow Fox Infinite, you can come on my channel. It's fine. We do a podcast. I don't care. Give me all 32X games.
All right, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's gonna do it for this podcast. Vito is kind of right. This is probably next to our end of the year podcast where we have like 8 or 9 different people on the podcast. This is gonna be one of our longest ones.
And if the categories for the Game Awards actually made sense, it would have been half of the time. But
it really would have, yeah.
It's my fault. I tend to make things shadowcast when I shouldn't.
That's hey, it's fine with me. You know how we do on the Stormcast. So before we get out of here, VG, since you're the newest guy on the channel, go ahead and pimp out the stuff that you need to pimp
Hey man,
out.
well, thank you guys for having me. It was quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of them all, but I appreciate it. So I just VGLP, my music album just dropped. It's on Master Sword Music. So go check that out. All streaming platforms. I got Action Jack on there on one of the tracks. Super happy with it. And then you can follow me on X at VGMobster, YouTube at VGMobster. So thank you guys for having me. You know, I got a lifelong fan here for the other casts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. And if you guys want to check out his channel, no. Let me stop. Since you guys are going to check out his channel, make sure to go in the description below. His channel link is there.
Thank you.
Shadow, what you got up for us?
Man, just shout out to VGMobster, man. Like he's one of the OG peeps, man. He always reaching out, always trying to like be part of the community. So like I just I don't know how else to say like you're one of the real guys on social media, man. I appreciate you being a real gamer out here and being a real streamer for everybody out here, because there's a lot of fake people that read cards and scripts and stuff and read targeted ads for videos and whatnot and stare at the camera and do this, guys. Like, nah, this ain't how we do around here. So I appreciate you for being one of the real guys out here. Doing the real hard hitting work and creating like great content. Like album is great, everything's great, man. So I say please sub to this guy and do what you got to do. You already know what I got to say. Channel dead, channel alive. Channel dead, channel alive. Kind of look on here like
you live on though, man. Your spirit lives on. No matter.
Final Cut exists. Like I have stuff on here, and I'll whatever. I'll do a Shadowcast at some point. Y'all know what it is. So one video a year, maybe. I think I'm right around there. So just stay tuned.
Every video you are on is just a shadow. It's just a shadow infusion.
I try. Do you play games, have fun to impress other people? There you go.
All right, Jack. What you got?
Like I said, I did a recent video not too long ago, kind of centered around the conversation with Xbox and their new announcement of everything being the Xbox. So definitely go check that out. As VG said, I am on the Streets of Rage track on his album, but that should not be the only song that you listen to on that album.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. Yes,
it should. Well, you definitely should listen to that one.
Like I told him on the stream when he was going over the album, even though I'm on the Streets of Rage track, Controls is still my
that one. That one's like boom bap heaven right there.
Yes,
so
it is sure. So that was on there. And then also what I ended up announcing as well, because I had issues with the distributor on doing my whole singles thing. I'm now releasing an album December 6th, Lyrical Practice Volume 3, which also has VGMobster on there. We have our Mr. Morales track.
I love that track. I can't wait for them to hear that one.
So definitely looking forward to dropping that album on December 6th. It has Vito on there as well with our Drip Level song that we have on there as well. Production by Sandstorm himself, with a few tracks. So yeah, we definitely got a lot going on, and definitely some very exciting things coming in the future from a music standpoint as well, that I can't talk about, but ultimately, it's definitely a lot going on in the future, man. But yeah, December 6th will be the next album drop, Lyrical Practice Volume 3.
Okay, so both Action Jack and Shadow are with us on the Winging It podcast. So I put the Winging It podcast in the description below, so make sure you go over there and hit subscribe if you have not as well.
Shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay, and Andre as well. Noto, what you got for us?
Yo. So if you know before, Where's got the little buddy here, Bean here. As you guys actually got a chance to see, he's basically on here. He basically gets appearances from time to time, but he's mostly going to be on most of my streams and also on Nanami, since we actually have that up and running. So we're not gonna have a Nanami episode this Friday because of Thanksgiving. So this is gonna be his first Thanksgiving. So I want to spend time with him, enjoy that whatsoever. But we should be back up and running after the following 2 weeks after Vito's Vitoverse, the Vito variants. Or no, sorry, Vitoverse. I'm sorry. I'm getting those mixed up for some odd reason. Yeah. So don't hurt me, Vito. I know you're in the chat. Don't hurt me. But yeah,
Vito's podcast.
There you go.
So we'll have his Vitoverse, and then I should be back with that. We have the next topic. We're going to be doing drama and rom-coms. We're going to be talking about those for the next Nanami episode. And again, I'm actually in the process of still working in Princess Peach. I'm hoping to work on it. Really, buddy? You have to drop the pinky? Yeah. So I should be actually finished in basically with Princess Peach Showtime in maybe about 2 days, or maybe in a day, because I'm about to do 2 more recordings, and it should be officially done. Then that's pretty much it for me. So catch me at so check out my channel. I have all my actual Let's Plays up and running. So Sandstorm will put it in the link down below to find me. And, check out Nanami, check out the episodes we got so far. They've been really good. So, there you go.
Yes. So, last but not least, Stormcast. Every Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Unless I change the time, but definitely try not to change the date. Sunday, we have the Winging It podcast at 7 o'clock, where you can catch me, Jack, Shadow, Andre, Jay, sometimes Vicky, another guest on there. And then on Monday, we have the Jill podcast with Terminator Juice, Mr. T, Robert, Chanel, Retro, Clocked It if he shows up. And we talk, and we talk about more nominations and stuff like that, video game. But make sure you check out Vito's channel as well. This is in the description too, where we talk about entertainment and music. And like Noto said, our third platform, which is anime, is with Noto on every other Fridays. Yep. Other than that, thank you guys. Thank you, Vito. Thank you, Square, for coming through. Jay, Shadow, of course. Thank you, VG. Thank you to Grant Smith. We had a new person on here. She came back, and that's awesome. And Joycey J. Thank you, Exodia, RJ. Thank you all. If I forgot your name, I apologize.
Hold on, real quick. So, what is Vito talking about?
Oh, the Scandal 3. So you want to know about the Scandal 3? If you want to know about the Scandal 3, you have to check out the Scandal 1 and 2.
Hey, they on the DSPs?
I got you.
Okay.
But yeah, that's his third album, long awaited, and most
he's doing an album and didn't say anything. Yep. Okay, all right, Vito.
So, it is. Yeah, he's gonna get with you, and in all fairness.
That's just good.
So other than that, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, buddy.